by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under age 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events are aligned with charities Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from the All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it's the SYC Louisiana. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Louisiana, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm Youth Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under age 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events are aligned with charities Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from the All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it's the SYC Louisiana. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Louisiana, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm Youth Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under age 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events are aligned with charities Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from the All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it's the SYC Louisiana. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Louisiana, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm Youth Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under age 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events are aligned with charities Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from the All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it's the SYC Louisiana. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Louisiana, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm Youth Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under age 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events are aligned with charities Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from the All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it's the SYC Louisiana. Welcome to the 2023 SYC Louisiana, presented by Storm Bowling. The Storm Youth Championships are brought to you by I Am Bowling, the official merchandiser for the SYC. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under age 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. by Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy, and by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowlmetrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events are aligned with charities Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from the All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it's the SYC Louisiana. Welcome to the 2023.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. We have had quite the morning. We will bring you some bowling action today. Let's get the main camera going. So anyone who's done anything with internet or anything, we had a fun start to the day. We had our Ethernet cord go dead. So hang tight while I fix some of these cameras. But we're excited to bring you some live action from the SYC. My name's Blair Blumenscheid, and I will be commentating alongside many people at the SYC. And we will be covering the action. We have many special guests that'll come through to commentate all weekend long. But the main reason we're here is to watch these awesome youth bowlers. So on lanes 5 and 6, which is our main camera, we do have some youth bowlers stepping up. Cade Carson is up on lane 6. I think I hear a bit of an echo. Does anyone else hear that echo? I'm trying to fix our sound. We see Mr. Bryce. Nice shot there. They are bowling on the short pattern this morning. The short pattern is 37 feet in length. You also see lane 7, Carson Reed just stepped up. Thank you, Pat, for letting us know if the sound is good. All right, so we have William Jewell the third. Great shot right there. 10 back. Mr. Chase. That's the first look at Chase on lane 5. We have a lot of I Am Bowling jerseys on this pair. Look and see if I have some bios for these young folks so that we can talk about them. All right, so we're watching some bowlers. We got Mr. Price. I'm gonna see if Price filled out a bio. Price, you did not fill out your bio. Let's see if Chase did. Chase Walker. I do not have a bio for you either. Man, 2 for 2 of no live stream bios this morning. That's all right. It's early. People are still getting waking up. As a reminder, you can catch all of the action. The scores will be on bowlmetrics.com all day long. This is our first trip to Louisiana. We are, as the intro said, we're in All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All-Star Lanes is a great host. For years, they've wanted the SYC to come this way, and Kim and her team here are fantastic. The bowling center, as you can see, it's well lit. It's quite spacious, and they work hard. There's also Lane Talk for anyone who's watching at home. If you are on Lane Talk, you can go on and see frame-by-frame scores all day long. Pretty awesome addition, just because the bowling center added Lane Talk, which is free for bowling centers to add. You can reach out to our friends at Lane Talk, and they can get you all hooked up. I do have a bio for Mr. Cade Carson, who just threw that awesome shot on lane 6. He's 15. He's from Frisco, Texas. His home bowling center is Plano Super Bowl. Favorite pro bowler is Pete Weber, Jason Belmonte, and Chris Prather. He enjoys the opportunity bowling provides to learn from and to teach others. Favorite bowling achievement, he loved making the varsity team as a freshman and achieving his first 700 series. This is something cool. He's achieved the top 1% of players in a few games playing video games, including multiple Call of Duty, Pokemon Unite, and Apex Legends. Top 1% of players. That's legit. He would like to thank his friends and family for supporting him in his bowling endeavors. See Drayson McDonald on lane 6. He's 18 years old. He averages 196. He's from Indian Land, South Carolina. His home bowling center is Strikers Family Sports Center. Favorite pro bowlers, Norm Duke. He enjoys having fun the most about bowling. He won South Carolina State Team 2 years in a row, and he wants to thank his parents for taking the time off and getting him here, as well as his buddies Sawyer, Zayden, and Trevor. Mr. Brady Knoll has a cool Mardi Gras jersey on lane 6. Of course, we are only about a half hour away, or 45 minutes from New Orleans, so lots of the families have done some exploring. There was a group that did a ghost tour down in New Orleans, which I didn't even know there were ghosts in New Orleans. See Mr. William Jewell, the third on lane 5. He has an owl on his shoulder with a little, it's like the Tootsie Roll owl. I need to learn more about this owl, William. Yeah, doesn't quite get that messenger. Good shot, though. Short pattern always proves to be a tiny bit tricky for the bowlers. It's not the easiest of all patterns, although today they're bowling 37 feet, 25 mils of volume. See Mr. Trevor Ashby up on lane 4, junior Team USA member, starting off with a 4-bagger. He's here to bowl today. Caleb Zamora on lane 7. Seen him in a few SYCs. Welcome to everyone who's watching in the chat. Thanks for tuning in this Saturday morning. Try to give you some bowling action to kick off your day. I do want to use, we have a second camera. I'm going to pull up this second camera. Just to the right, you see Mr. Preston Gray here on lanes 9 and 10. Two-hander. Great shot. He's clean through 4. This young man is local to this bowling center and has been very gracious in helping out in the check-in room. There's a lot of local youth athletes that are showing their stuff at the SYC this weekend, so it's exciting to see some of the talent from the Baton Rouge, New Orleans area. Lots of bowlers traveled from Texas. I'm not sure how many states we'll have to ask Leanne all the facts if we can get her in here. We have quite a few states represented, definitely Texas, Louisiana. Bowlers from Washington. I see someone watching from Washington. Good morning, Tracy. Mr. Woods Wiseman stepping up on lane 7. He's on a double. Oh, good shot. Good shot. Nice shot by Solomon Johnson. Good spare. Our friends from I Am Bowling. You see many of the jerseys in front of us are I Am Bowling jerseys. They're the official merchandiser of the SYC. They're here this weekend. Shannon Plahowski, who works for I Am Bowling, is the marketing manager. She's here with Dan Martin, who now helps with I Am Bowling, and they have lots of cool SYC gear for the families to purchase. Our friends Ken and Kathy Keegan, we're missing them this weekend, but they are traveling somewhere else. So we're thankful for I Am Bowling. They're a great partner in the SYC. I see Erin saying that she's watching from Ohio. I know Hayden Terrace is on 7 and 8 here, so I'm sure you recognize this young man. He's a great youth bowler from that state. Jacob Neubauer, too, on lane 4. So your Ohio crew, you can't really miss the Ohio crew. They always, they went ghost. They were the ghost tour people. They explored the ghost tour on Thursday in New Orleans. I need to hear about these ghosts. Maybe I'll quiz the kids later. Aaron, well, I'm glad that you're watching. You get to see Jacob this morning. Jacob's a great young man. Very, very kind. Nice shot by Mr. Price. I said Hayden. I meant Cameron Kilgore. Sorry, Cameron. Lane 7. I'm having a little bit of echo. I'm wondering what those headphones, because if there's echo, I might have to wait till the second game and we'll try to figure out the headphones. It's muted. Oh, wait. All right. I am joined by Mr. Ralph Solon. Ralph,
Hello, Blair.
welcome to the SYC live stream booth again.
Yes, it's good to be back.
Yes,
It's been a few months.
so we're at All Star Lanes this weekend. This is your territory. You
Correct.
are the Southeast regional manager. All right.
Yep.
For Storm. So what can you tell us about the great state of Louisiana?
Well, there's a lot of good bowlers and a lot of good food, and we're close to New Orleans. And most of the bowling's down south. There is a little bit in the northern part, but most of your bowling is around I-10 or a little south of I-10, and we're just off of I-10 and 12 here. But Baton Rouge and yeah, there's a lot of good bowlers from here.
Yeah. Well, that is great, and we're seeing a lot of great youth bowlers
Yes.
from this area. A lot of local bowlers that are coming out this weekend. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see.
We're here. 3-day event, including with practice. So everybody got their Supernova bowling ball.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
I don't see many going down the lanes on the short pattern. I can't imagine why. I'm just kidding. It's a pretty early ball for a short pattern, but
Just watched a nice messenger, nice delayed messenger, and it fell. Good job. We need a score correction.
Front desk. We can't. Yeah. It's so funny when you put a headset on. Everyone thinks you control everything.
Yes, you control this.
Yeah.
The whole building revolves around Blair and Ralph right now.
Yeah, right. We
can do
We
it
can.
all.
It's magical. Yeah, I told everyone this morning we had the fun. You know, you never know what'll happen. Like an Ethernet cord go out.
Yes, that was a long cord. That was like 100-footer.
It is a 100-footer. Yeah.
Wow.
It's dead. Gone.
It's dead. Got a bad spot.
Did you find the bad spot?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I didn't look for it though, but I was curious.
I'm gonna look. I know. I'm curious too. I'm gonna look because it worked Thursday, so and Friday.
Could be
Go
a
figure.
connection. Maybe we'll check the connection.
Yeah,
Who
who
knows?
knows? It's always
We
something.
need Mike Chadwick to come out here.
Amen. Right.
Yes, we need our technician.
All right. So we see Mr. Woods Wiseman. I like the way that this young man throws the ball in lane 7.
Two-handed.
Oh.
Yeah. Oop.
Oh, I jinxed him.
Oh.
8-10.
Hit the
Brutal.
pocket, but he's playing that good conservative role though. Just don't do a whole lot to the ball. Just stay up the back. But sometimes you pay the price with a little carry. So
Yes.
what do we got?
We
here
have a
on the
little
short?
longer short pattern. It's 37.
Wow. Okay.
And then volume is 25.
Okay.
So playable. I mean, short patterns always prove to be a little tricky, but definitely this one is a little. I didn't hear as much complaining yesterday in practice about the short pattern this time.
Okay. Definitely looks like it's playing a little tighter.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of urethane going down the lane, so it is hard to. Bowlers are definitely more equipped and playing lanes correctly. So I'm seeing a lot of good ball reaction out there, a lot of smooth. So I can't tell if that's a lane or just great ball choices.
It could be either.
And it could be.
But
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of skid flip, which just means that
they're maintaining the pocket.
yeah, a
You know, and that's what Steph and Clara spent a lot of time talking about in their seminar yesterday, was when you're bowling in a tournament like this, just maintain the pocket. Don't do crazy stuff. The scores, usually on the short pattern, the scores aren't terribly high. So when you're in a position like that, just maintain the pocket. Don't give away the pocket.
Great piece of advice, because it's so easy to get tempted to do too much fancy stuff with the ball and try to cover too many boards and try to bring it back from no man's land. And it's better just to smooth roll it, get to the pocket. If you leave some 9 counts, or at least you're in the pocket.
That's right.
You can pick those spares for the most part, and spares are important.
They are.
A lot of two-handed bowlers right in front of us at the moment.
That is the way the game is going, Ralph. In the PBA Junior finals, we were watching it the other day at breakfast. I think it was Thursday morning or Friday. I can't remember what day it was. But whatever day the finals were on, the Bowl TV announced that there was one-handed boy in the finals, and there were of 10. One was one-handed.
90%
Yeah.
two-handed.
I can't believe how much technology is failing me today. My live stream questionnaire page is crashed.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, people. All my technology needs a coffee. If I could give it a coffee, it'd be better.
Just don't spill your coffee on your Mac.
Oh man, that would be
I
even
tried
worse.
that once. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good.
Usually
outcome.
doesn't end well.
Yeah. Some
Sir Cameron Kilgore here on lane 7. Gonna try for this baby split. And
lefty, and he's
good try, hit it.
It was a very good try. I thought he had it.
Baby splits are brutal.
The word "baby" just kind of makes you think it's going to be easy, and it's not so easy.
It's not easy. I agree. They're trying to make you feel better about it. Oh, it's only a baby split.
Right. And when you
Still
miss,
split.
you feel defeated because you couldn't
Right?
pick the baby up. First game, right? First game.
First game.
Everybody's still getting kind of the first game jitters and just the morning. I never liked bowling at 9 a.m. Well, I guess 9's not too bad, but you got to get up early. I was a late block bowler.
I am never good in the first game. Sometimes I'm never good in the whole tournament, but never is the first game good.
Yeah, it helps to get warmed up.
Yeah. And one time I was bowling a tournament and I couldn't figure out the first game for 2 days.
Right.
Then I figured out the first game on the third day, and I got lost in transition for the first time. So I'm like, I kind of wish that I had not figured it out first game. I'll go back to my bad first game and good transition. So.
Pay now or pay later, right?
Got a shout out for Austin Guests, and good luck to Riley Harris, first SYC. We love when bowlers, it's their very first SYC.
Yes, we do. I saw quite a few check in, some first timers, many repeat bowlers. So
yeah. I don't have all the stats. I need to ask Leanne about how many first timers we have and how many different states. Normally she announces all that in the announcements, but I was dealing with the Ethernet issues, so
yes, you were busy.
I did not hear our facts this morning.
I know one family came from Seattle, and there was probably a few from the Northwest. But they came just because they never been to New Orleans and thought it'd be a fun trip. And I thought, good for them. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, there are a lot of families. There's a family here from New York that's on a road trip with a RV.
Oh,
So
okay.
they've been stopping a lot along the way and
Wow.
exploring different things. Pretty fun. Mr. Zachariah Grundy. Good shot there. That was a lot of speed and a lot of power. That was awesome. Nice shot, Zachariah. So we are coming down into the 10th frame on 2 of our pairs. One's a couple frames behind. Kind of a mixture of scores. 213, 205, 171, 193. Actually, 3 and 4 looks like a pretty nice pair.
It does.
Brady here has been working really hard. He's not had a strike this game. And he has made more than half of his spares, but it's tough when you wake up in the morning and you don't have a strike.
Yes.
He's working really hard here.
So let's see if we can bring him some luck. We can make this 5-pin and then maybe get a strike in the fill. We always strike in the fill ball.
Always. It's guaranteed. Looks like he's using a Zen with a lot of surface.
Yes. Uh-oh. He might have some trouble with this.
Hang on.
Oh,
No, he
he's
got
on
it.
The surface helped.
Yeah, smoothed it out.
I thought definitely that might have some late hook, but he used the right ball. All right, we got to root him on. Got to get a strike.
Yeah, let's go, Brady.
Come on. Shooting spares two-handed, that seems like it would be a challenge. I've always admired two-handed
Spare
bowlers that are
shooters,
good.
yeah.
That are good spare shooters. It just seems like it would be a little extra.
Right?
He's yep.
Oh yeah,
that was it.
There it is. First strike of the game. Good to move on to the next pair.
Yep. Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what. Ooh. So Brady, you just saw him playing more up the boards, further to the right. Carson, who just bowled on lane 7, is about as far left as you can be game 1.
He just wheeled the whole lane. And struck.
Yeah.
But it was a little,
He's way different than everyone else right now. That's for sure. Maybe you see something.
Yes. He's definitely taken the scenic route.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, Anthony Simonson did that. That's what he said. He said that I did something no one else did and led qualifying. So it's all right to be different sometimes.
That's a good point. That is a good point. If you're doing something different and doing it well, then usually you lead the tournament because nobody else can do what you're doing. Yep, spares are going to be a must today, as always.
Yeah, especially on the short pattern. I don't think 213 is the highest score within viewing area. Like, I don't see any. There's some 160s, a 180. Yeah, this is not a high scoring pattern by any means. So spares are crucial and just maintain that pocket, right?
Yep.
Well, Ralph, we're coming down to the end of this game. I hope you'll join us again in a later game. I'm going to see if Clara and Stephanie are here yet, and then we'll do some rotations. We have 9 games today to cover.
Yes,
so.
A lot of bowling left. A lot of bowling. Thanks for having me. I'll walk around and watch some action.
Thanks for being here this weekend and meeting with the families and meeting with the kids.
It's been fun. It's been fun. I also, have a few families and people out that have pro shops, so some of my customers are here. It's been kind of fun. Yeah. They're supporting their, students and customers as well from the area, so it's a good mix. So, well, thank you, Blair.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. Welcome back, SYC fans. I have a very, very special guest in the booth with us, Mr. Tony Franklin. Oh, Tony, scoot a little bit this way. Our camera only reaches a little bit.
Let's do it.
Tony, I'm
Blair.
so excited that we actually get you in the live stream booth at the SYC.
I mean, you're very fortunate. You're very fortunate.
I
So are all the
know.
listeners. You guys are welcome.
I mean, so you do commentary in like real events, like.
This isn't a real event.
I mean, well, no. I mean, this is a very important event.
Okay,
but
good.
like, we always say that we're not ESPN, and we're like just trying to bring some footage to the grandma and grandpas at home. That's my job, is just to make sure that grandma and grandpa can watch the bowlers.
Hey.
But you like do real commentary.
I do like to. Yes, there are a few things I like in life more than hearing my own voice, and that's the honest truth.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So obviously, you are watching your daughter.
Yep, we're watching Tori. She's on 5 and 6.
And she's bowling with some great bowlers.
She is.
Cherise Graham, who's stepping up on lane 5. I love her game. Olivia Fellner. Man,
It's my first time seeing Olivia. She's legit.
solid,
She's
right?
legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the girls as Tori was practicing. Now Tori's U15, and I just was like, man, all these U15 girls are amazing. And then she comes down. She's like, everybody around me is U18. And I was like, oh, okay, well there you go. Because I was like, this is the most amazingly talented group of 15s I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do the math because Olivia has class of 2023 on her shirt, and I was like, how is she U15? But
Oh, yeah.
we have solved that riddle now, so we're in business.
That would be a little challenging if they're graduating. And,
Yeah.
but there could be a really
Maybe
smart kid, right?
absolutely. Yeah, it's just a brilliant young lady, and there you go.
Jasmine Hall, too. U18 girls right here on lane 6. I like the way she throws the ball.
right
I've
up the
never
back of
seen
it.
her bowl before.
Nope, me neither.
Cherise, obviously. She's from Texas. You
Yep,
see
yep,
her bowl
yep,
a little bit.
Absolutely. She's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She's an amazing talent. She's made a show probably 3 years ago at Junior Gold.
Yeah.
And she was, maybe that was on the U12 days as a young pup. She's fantastic.
She just keeps getting better, too.
Yep.
Kind of like your daughter. Every time I see her, she's gotten better.
Hey,
Like,
that's the cool thing about the youth is they put so much into it these days that their games are constantly evolving, which does make it difficult. Like that's a real problem is they do so much. Look at her looking back.
she's like, crap, my coach is in the booth. Dang it.
But yeah, they get so good so fast. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you, I don't know if it'll happen this time, but the last time I stole Jeannie from Tori at an event, Tori bowled great on the live stream.
Okay, let's
repeat
repeat
see.
that success.
Let's see how this goes. What did she have first game? Good.
179. Yeah, it was a good game.
Okay,
179.
Hey, it looked tough, especially down here. Did she come from the high end?
Yeah, she comes to the high end, so she's going to come down here and follow the boys.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a challenging cross.
Right.
Because they'll be a lot tighter, and you can see off that shot, they certainly were.
Yes. Most of the girls, look at this. 5 out of 6 got 7 on their first shot.
Yeah,
So
all light
yeah,
for the most part. Olivia, I think, she pulled it and missed left, but I do expect him to be a little tighter.
get a little wave.
Aw. Yeah, so I'm not familiar with Olivia, but just watching her throw it, Fellner on lane 5, just look at that backswing.
Yeah.
Super smooth in the lane, nails it. It's great talent.
She's bowled a couple events of SYC's, more than a couple actually. She's bowled a few, and the one thing I remember about Olivia is the only player I ever remember doing this, other than Olivia, was Jillian Martin. So let me start the story with that.
It's good company right there.
Yeah. So Olivia was on a pair that broke down in an event. I can't remember which event it was, and it's the worst case scenario, right? The lanes are down for an extended period of time. And Olivia started doing jumping jacks. And no one else was doing it. And she was up at the time, and she was staying warm. And the only other person I've ever seen do that was Jillian in a tournament when her pair went down for like 15 minutes. So Olivia's the real deal. I see it.
Yeah, and she looks very physically fit too,
Yeah.
as you'll see at most of the
Oh,
young
yeah.
the young athletes these days, and the pros as well. They're they take that physical fitness aspect and meld it in, which is not something that bowlers have always done a good job of.
Right.
So seeing it more out of the youth is very, very promising.
We see I have to give Abigail Starkey a shout out on lane 8 because Abigail Starkey was bowling the PBA Junior
She
event
was just in Toledo, right?
2 days ago.
Yeah.
And her family, they were texting us and they're like, are there open spots? And we're like, well, there are because there have been a lot of withdrawals for this event. So people have been getting off the waiting list all week long. But Abby and her family, they traveled down to Baton Rouge from Ohio.
Yeah, we had dinner with them last night. It was a group of us. So I was like, did you guys fly from Cleveland? And she's like, nope. We drove the 6 hours back to Chicagoland area and then got 4 hours of sleep and hopped on a plane and flew down here. I was like, wow, dedication to the craft, huh?
I tell you, these kids, they're serious. Now, so for the fans that are listening at home, you bowled the PBA 50 tour last year.
I did. I got in 7 tournaments last year, so not that bad. Not too bad.
Are you going to bowl again this year?
Yeah, I'll bowl as many as I can this year. The schedule's a little bit more difficult for me just from a work standpoint.
Right.
So I'll have 5 at least, and hopefully I can sneak another one in. Hold on one sec.
No, you're good. Yeah, a little coaching.
Yes, I should get 5 in. You know, the awesome PBA 50 tournament this year is we got a World Series in Jackson, but it's the same week as Junior Gold.
Oh no!
So no World Series for me.
Oh, what are the chances?
I know. So anyway,
love it.
But it's good fun. I really had a lot of fun last year bowling. Met a lot of great guys. Good competition. Learned a lot. That's the most important thing, is the learning aspect.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, and every once in a while, actually, the last few events, we've had at least one bowler or a parent who now is bowling on the PBA 50 tour.
Yeah.
That pops in the booth. And I think what's interesting about it is, you know, we watch all these kids, right? And they're bowling. And this is their life right now.
Yeah.
And fast forward in 10 years, some of them may still be bowling and it's their life. Others may have gone to a university, bowled, and now they have a job.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the cool part of the PBA 50 tour is that what kids don't really understand is like you're balancing work and bowling.
Right.
So you're going out and doing it. There are others that they're retired and now they're going out and bowling full time.
Yep.
So I think it's really important for kids to hear, like, you know, if you want to bowl, there is a lot of time to do it.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Blair. I'll quickly give my bowling story, just to cement that point of view. Right. That's all I wanted to do when I was a kid. I bowled youth, Dallas, all through the Southwest. A great group. We had a great group of talented kids that we all hung out with, and that's the great thing about bowling is you build lifelong friends.
Right.
The Lonnie Wallachek, Billy Murphy, Chad Murphy, Barnes, all those guys, Patrick Healy, Steve Klompkin, all of those guys.
Shake it off.
You know,
Really.
They always stayed at our house because my mom just loved having
that's awesome.
the guys there. So in the summer, it was just a smorgasbord of great bowling talent. You know,
it's a good group.
It is a good group. All the Wichita guys were great.
Yeah.
I bowled forever. I bowled on tour. I didn't like it when I was young. Just too much traveling. I found myself to be more of a homebody. So I bowled a couple of years out there. So then I just bowled regionals, went back to school. And then in 2002 or 2000, actually it was 2003, work was going really good. I was spending a lot more time doing that and less time practicing.
Right.
You're not going to beat Chris Barnes in a regional if you're not practicing because he ain't got nothing else to do but bowl and kill you. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit. So I just cold turkey stopped.
Oh, man.
We were thinking about, you know, having a family and doing that. So I just want to do other stuff. When you do nothing but bowl and think about that for nothing but 20 years, I just wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. So I didn't bowl for 10 years. And then 2000, I would bowl nationals every year. I would practice the week of and then go bowl that. So same thing comes up in 2013. We go up to the bowling center by my house. They didn't have any lanes to practice. It's like 2 days before we leave for nationals. I should throw a shot since it's been 6 months. And they had a new league starting. So my buddy that I went up there with, Frisco Doug, I was like, oh, yeah, by the way, we bowl league now. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, we're bowling this league so we can get some practice. And he's like, well, that's stupid. I was like, I know, but we bowl league on Wednesday night now, Doug.
That's awesome.
And it's called the Lousy Bowlers League, so that's our new league.
Nice.
So we bowled that all year, just had the most fun, so we just bowled that. And then after about 3 years, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to start bowling something a little bit more competitive.
Right.
So that's just kind of how I got back to it.
Yeah.
And then you just don't – that's the nice thing about bowling. Once you've put your heart and soul into it, like all of these kids are doing, you're building this memory forever. And if you want to quit for 5 years and go do whatever and come back, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's my favorite part that we see. And it goes to show how great the coaching is. And I always give a shout out to the USBC for their coaching programs, because the fundamentals of youth bowlers is like, you don't see a lot of kids not posting shots anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be, even when I was a kid, a lot of us were not posting shots. It was more not than are. So
Yeah.
I think the fundamentals are fantastic for these kids. So and that as long as you have the fundamentals, you can kind of get back to it, right? When you're older.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, just sit and watch them. I mean, you don't hear a single – for the most part, you're not hearing balls hit the lane.
Nope.
They're super smooth into the lane on spares as well, and great knee bends, and they're low, and they're balanced.
awesome.
I mean, it's just –
the balance is just incredible.
It
Even
is.
with the two-handers, which it used to be even the two-handed game, because they have so much power and
Yes.
speed that's going into
Yep.
it, they're still staying balanced.
Yep.
So it's incredible.
How many female two-handers are you seeing out there these days?
Oh man, it's more and more, and I think we have one on
We
lane
have one.
8, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we were at a tournament. I believe it was Ohio last year, where there were like 9 two-handed girls.
Okay.
And we're like, oh man, here it comes. And so we average, I would say, about 2 to 3 a tournament
Okay.
now. And sometimes more, sometimes less, but usually 2. I shouldn't even say average. It's like minimum 2 to 3. So it's there.
Yeah.
I think it's just someone. I don't know when it'll be on the PWBA tour. That's the question. It's like, will it be soon, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit, because I don't think there are many in that
Next
Yeah,
group, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
in
It'll
that
be
in
interesting.
that seniors in college or
Yeah.
somewhere in college.
right. It'll definitely be the first one will be a wave, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got Bella Castillo,
Yeah, sure.
who's crushing racks everywhere she goes now.
She's insane.
So
She just won in Vegas the U15 because she's still U15.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, isn't she 13?
yeah,
Okay.
just barely. I
Yeah.
think this is her second year, maybe. Yeah, second year in U15. So this is Tori's last year in 15, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, she turned 16 in August.
So the other thing I like to ask parents, since I have you in
All
the
right.
booth, you're on the spot. The jumps are so hard, right? U12 to U15, U15 to U18 is probably the hardest on both sides because it's such a difference. So what are some of the things that you think about or help your daughter through when she's making those divisional jumps?
I think you have to be comfortable with the environment first and foremost. So it helps to know some of the other competitors
Sure.
on a personal level to some degree, so that you're not down in the pit and feeling like you don't have anybody to talk to. They're all better than me. I'm not good enough. All of those doubts that creep into any athlete's head. So getting to know them and spend time with the older group is very important, because you have to be comfortable enough to ask some questions, and they don't ask many.
No, they
But
don't. They should.
They should. They should. So if you're gonna hit anything home with your kid, you have to help them feel comfortable in a question asking scenario,
Yeah.
which nobody really is. Mine certainly isn't. As much as I
What?
try and get on her about that, is ask some questions.
Yeah. You bring up something great, and Clara and Stephanie did a great seminar yesterday, and one of the things that they talked about was not only meeting other people in your division.
Oh, they need to fix the score. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. If they know how to do it, perfect.
Yeah,
We'll watch.
Yeah.
We got you. The not only watching your division and watching the girls that are bowling well and seeing where they're playing to see if you can make that move and change, but also Clara talked about how she got advice one time to write down 10 positive things about herself, and they could be true or not be true. And it was like, I'm the best spare shooter in the world. And it's these really positive things that you repeat to yourself during competition, which I thought was a great tip, especially for kids, because it is so easy to get in that mode of like watching these girls and not knowing what's going to happen. And
Interesting.
yeah, so
Interesting. Yeah. Nothing. Nothing's more important than the game between your ears, right?
Oh, yeah.
The mental aspect of it.
so hard.
It is what makes bowling so difficult, because it's all decision making. Yes, you got to make good shots. Yes, you've got to execute, but you have to be doing the right thing. The one thing about bowling, especially right now, is if you don't have the right ball and you're not in the right spot, you are not going to get 2 strikes in a row.
Right.
It's that simple.
Right. So Miss Tamaya, I think it's Tamaya Yeager. She's from Tacoma, Washington.
Wow, big travel.
Yeah, she's on lane 5. This is her first SYC. 16 years old. Favorite pro bowler is Daria Payak. She is coached by, she wants to say hi to Coach Dean and OBBA. I think that's the youth series out there. Miss Ellen, Bolero Lanes, Paradise Lanes, Piper, Megan, Haley, and I guess Danny. I love it. But Tamaya, I just saw she is throwing a big ball.
Yeah.
Exotic gem.
Regular gem.
I'm sorry, gem.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. Right, big gem. It looks, there's some surface on it.
Yeah, there
too.
is. Yeah, she was wheeling it. She's playing the lanes very well, being aggressive to the hook. Low track, so she gets a lot on it, so it has a chance to tip down the lane and hook in. So she looks very, very solid.
Good shot by Tori there.
It's a good ball.
Come on. Oh, that was a good shot. I hate it when good shots don't strike.
Isn't that ridiculous? They should all strike like
I
that.
agree.
Stupid bowling
It's
pins.
so hard to throw a good shot, like where you're trying to play with the right ball. Come on, bowling. Bowling is a hard sport, though. We all know it.
It is. It is. Things can go wrong in a flash.
Yeah. Like that.
What was that? Solid
Olivia, solid 7.
Step
Yeah.
7.
Agree, Olivia. We agree. That was not fair.
Good spare, Tori. We've been struggling on spares lately, so I'm happy to see her knocking some stuff down.
Spares are important. I mean, it's easier said than done usually, though. Like, you can say spares are important and then miss them. So,
yeah, that's right. Because like my uber pet peeve is at junior gold. Like when any of the parents, coaches, pros, when they're like, focus, make your spares, do that. Well, of course, that's the ante to bowling is make your spares.
Right.
It's the dumbest advice in the world, Blair. I want to be on record as saying it's the dumbest advice in the world.
Dell Ballard, if you're listening, because that's what Dell always says, and we always give.
He doesn't mean that. Him and I talk about this relentlessly.
So,
he knows where I sit on this.
Gary and Dell go back and forth because Dell and Carolyn, when they used to come, they would be talking about how they see too many spares missed and make your spares and all this stuff. And Gary's like, but you have to strike too.
You know what wins tournaments? Not 8 spare.
Right.
5 baggers win tournaments. Okay? It's as simple as that. You want to go bowl against EJ Tackett? Sure, make your spare. See how well that works out for you.
EJ's on a run this year.
Yeah, he's insane. All he does is throw 7 baggers. 5 baggers isn't even enough for him. It's
and
7.
he might miss a spare once in a while.
Nope. I mean, he actually, I think he missed a couple this week.
Right.
He's an unbelievable spare shooter.
Yeah.
This is another thing that I see from people is like in the chat for stuff. They'll bash on the major pros, like if they miss a spare. Man, these guys can't make spares. Back in the old day, they made spares more than this. Wrong. The guys out there are so good at everything.
Yeah.
Making splits, they don't miss spares. They miss nothing. They throw straight at everything. They're perfection when it comes to spares, and I don't see what people are thinking that, it's, these guys don't spare good. No, it's not true at all.
Yeah. Well, I think I think we see that this year with all the PTQs, right? Like, so the difference between a PTQ bowler right now and the tour player. I mean, you have such a learning curve to make it out of the PTQ, and then you go into the big event, and you have another huge learning curve. Like, these guys are so good, and on the ladies tour, the girls are so good. One of the kids asked yesterday, the girls, why are the women more consistent than the men? And that was a good attempt at it, actually. Do you need to do a little pep talk? Go for it. You're good. All right, so we are watching it's a mixture of U15, U18. Our friend, as soon as I talked to Tamaya, I totally jinxed her. It's my fault. See Miss Olivia.
All right.
Fellner.
She's from upstate, right?
I think so, yeah. I'm going to see if sometimes we fill out bios and sometimes we don't. Let's see, Olivia.
I love the
I have
bio
one from
sheet.
June.
Look at this.
Yeah. So she's from, I think that's Eaton, New York, because she bowls at Rippick's Carousel Lanes. Favorite pro bowler is Kelly Kulik. I see a little Kelly in her game.
Yeah, watch the backswing.
She was
not as high, but it's very
right.
It's very locked elbow and then nails it at the bottom. Yeah,
but so much
legit.
power.
Yeah,
she just has all this power, and lots of, like you mentioned earlier, very fit. Because you can see her. You don't see many youth players using their legs. Olivia is using a lot of her legs.
Yep, and that's a big Kelly Kulik thing.
Yeah,
she's super fit as well.
Absolutely.
Got to know Kelly a lot more last year. She was the ball rep for Storm Roto Grip 900 Global on PBA 50, so it was really great to get to work with her. She was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun just bowling and hanging out afterwards. I've got an awesome picture of her just when we'd be out, and she would just do like wall sits. Like at the table, she'd move the chair, and she would just do wall sits. And then she'd like do planks, and then
just while you're at dinner or whatever.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Just crazy.
Yeah. Well, she, you bring up her being a tour rep, and that was amazing. And I think it was important she wanted to do that, and she started to want to do it a couple years ago. She's always been someone who knows the technical parts of the game, and she really wanted to be a tour rep, and there aren't many women who have gone out and been tour reps. So for the girls to see, man, I can be a pro bowler, or I can work in the industry in any of these aspects. It's really important.
No doubt. And a ball rep, female ball rep on a men's tour.
Right.
No problem. No, to my knowledge, no one discounted anything. I mean, she's won the Tournament of Champions, for goodness sake.
Yeah, so, really.
Like, whatever she said, I just said, yes, ma'am.
The feedback was great, actually. We heard a lot of people that enjoyed working with her. And so, yeah.
Rock solid.
Yeah.
I hope she does it again for some of the stops that I'm out there. Number one, I miss her just because we had so much fun.
Right.
But just because she's, really, really good at her craft.
Totally.
All right, so Tori's going to move right. So she was kind of right on top of the hook, miss right, no hooky, miss left hooky. So she's got to get right on this short pattern.
That's what I see Abby doing too. She's in the same kind of spot. Oh, there we go. That looks great.
Good execution. Maybe we should do more of that. Blair, what's your recommendation?
Do more of that.
Is she going to sneak?
Get a high five. I love it.
It doesn't care if she has like six opens in a row. If she gets a strike and a good shot, she's going to high five. She lives for the strikes.
I love it.
See?
I love it.
When you're in our house, sure, we need to make some spares.
Yeah.
Is Tony going to go out there and miss some spares? Oh, yeah, I will miss some spares, girl.
I don't know any kid that walks in and goes, man, today I really want to miss some spares.
Yeah.
I don't hear anyone saying that.
No. But I want them to all say, I want to get some five baggers today.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, so I think the volume is really what's proven to be a little trickier than anything. Although this is a longer short pattern. That's what
it is. I
noticed earlier.
And I heard you say yesterday, these are all from Janowitz, right?
Mm-hmm.
New pattern.
JJ. Yep.
So brand new. No one's bowled on them
yet,
right?
Yeah. Okay. So you could have practiced on them. We don't hide the patterns. So some kids take them to their local center.
there's no need to.
Yeah, that's how we feel. So we give them out a couple weeks before, and then actually JJ does a whole video on it, and he tells them this is how I would play them.
I heard you ask a question to everybody yesterday. Who watched the video? How many hands went up in the air?
It was not many.
You asked it twice.
I did.
The first time you asked it, I was like, oh, she asked that in a very nice way. That's a welcoming ask, and then I don't think you got the answer that you were looking for. And you asked it in a much more assertive tone.
Yeah. It was probably, I would say, less than, of the 170 bowlers, less than 10 said that they had watched the video.
And I believe you said that they could get to those videos
Easily.
in their email.
Easily.
Right?
Yeah, email.
And there's probably on the World Wide Web
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. So our KEGEL is our partner in the SYC for the lane patterns. And beyond just creating the lane patterns, and they, do their research as anyone. They know the center. They know what the lane surface is. They know kind of the tendencies. They'll call ahead. They'll say, hey, what patterns work, what don't. And then on top of that, JJ will film a video and talk about the center they're going to and talk about, hey, here's what surface you're bowling on. Hey, here's what I would suggest, the type of balls that you would use.
Good.
So it's available. It's like anything, right? So kids just have to go and do it.
Yeah.
Watch it.
And I think the main thing I've been noticing with a lot of the patterns that I've bowled on, PBA 50 stuff, I'm seeing more volume, right? And this is 37 feet, which is a longer short.
Yes.
And 26 mils of oil. So on the volume side, 26, which can also be a little longer. Oh, look at that.
Great shot.
We got two
double.
in a row.
That's a double.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Frisco, Texas, she's got a double.
She's coming for the high five.
Got to come for the high.
Oh,
that
was
was just a
an
virtual
air
high five. Okay,
Oh,
I'll take it. All right, I'm not
She
gonna,
gave Mom a high five.
That's
so.
fine. You got to share the fives. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only one per family per frame. So the patterns here a little bit. I would say it's moderately high volume. There's not a ton of hook to the right,
Right.
Which you generally see on a short. But I know some of the PBA 50s, the short pattern, like the Del Ballard pattern, which is the 35-footer, which is our short one for PBA stuff. And I think it's like 30 mils or 31. I mean, the oil carries down so fast.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't stay short for long. So I'm seeing more of that. So I noticed yesterday they carried down a lot.
Yeah. And even game one, they were carrying down for the guys.
Yeah.
They kept moving right. Actually, that was their move.
Because the outside three boards are still untouched.
Right.
Even with urethane and everything else.
Exactly.
Still, I haven't seen many balls at 40 feet on the three board. So there should still be some hook out there.
Yeah, and urethane is a tricky subject, right? Because, urethane is prominent in the game today. And following urethane, especially for the young ladies, sometimes can be a little tricky.
Yeah, I expect the scores to be pretty low for them on this pattern due to that.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that really, I don't think the urethane matters a whole lot.
Right.
Unless you're on the PBA Tour where everybody throws in they got 600 rev rate. Then it matters. Anything else doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Right, yeah.
You won't notice it. Out here, though, if 6 of 6 kids are throwing urethane in front, that's going to do something.
Yeah.
But if the touring pros want to complain about it, they have every right to because they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
That's
I
another
agree
nice
with
shot.
that.
Good 9.
Yeah.
We'll take a 9 there.
It was a good shot.
How much you bowling these days, Blair?
Very little. Leanne and I we're going back and forth. We both want to bowl queens this year. So every time I come to an SYC, I will say the kids inspire us to go back and want to practice. We're like,
How long does that last? Like when the wheels touch down in Salt Lake?
until I have a really crazy day of work, and then I'm like, I don't have
go
time.
practice now.
Yeah. Well, we joke because it's, you talked about it earlier, right? Like you get into life. And the kids right now, they're in that mode of, man, every day I can go and practice after school.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the weekends I can go bowl. But, then you have a job. And sometimes it's a balancing act.
It's tough. It's very tough in our household. I have to be. We all have to be very creative because I have 3 bowlers in the house.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own needs.
Right.
And we all work. And she plays softball too.
Yeah.
For a high school team, and their practices start at 6:30 every morning. And on game days, she's not home till 10:30, 2 days a week on game days, and it's
she has
tough.
homework in between all that.
Homework, you gotta fit that in.
Right. Plus, you have puppies too.
We have an amazing dog. Yes.
Right. Because I that's the other problem. I'm like, I decided to get a dog. I don't know what I was thinking. I love him, but
yours is super cute.
he is cute. But man,
what kind of dog is it?
He's an Aussie Doodle.
Aussie Doodle. Okay.
Yeah. Because you have
we got a Labradoodle.
Labradoodle.
I knew you had a doodle, and I have not seen an Aussie Doodle live and in person. But those more, I think Jeannie, my wife, she follows some Aussie Doodle group on Facebook or Instagram, or so she's always showing me pictures. Great looking dogs, and your dog is great looking.
He is a good looking dog. They are high energy. That is what I'll caution you.
How old is yours right now?
9 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's still much a puppy.
Oh man, ours is 2.5. I mean, so much energy. It's awesome though. But they sleep so hard all day.
Oh yeah.
And then it's weird if I work from the house. As soon as I'm done working, let's call it 5 o'clock. For some reason, she's on. Like, hey, let's go. I'm like, why do you know it's 5 o'clock? Like, maybe I'd like to sit here on the couch and flip through some channels and just have a mind shut down. Can I not
just relax all day? Let me relax.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's how he is. It's like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, as soon as I get back from work, I'm like, all right, we're gonna go for a walk, which is great.
That's good. That's something you can do to clear your mind too, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's great. So now that the snow is melted.
How many months a year can you go for a walk in Salt Lake?
Oh, well, I just learned the trickiest month is January.
Okay.
December still is okay. January we got record snowfall this year in Utah. So that was I could have walked, but the problem was that I was shoveling snow instead of walking. Oh, we have a question. Oh, that's not good. All right. Can you find land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh dear. Yeah. So.
The AC unit, I guess, is dripping a little bit.
Yeah. So, well, luckily we're getting down to the 10th frame, so we can deal with this little tiny. There's always something, right? You go to a lot of bowling centers. And
sure. You don't see that one often,
No.
but I can see in this area that is not the first time.
No, yeah.
It has dripped.
Yeah. Yeah. I like one of the bowlers came back and said, it's raining. Oh, we need to warn. Tori just walked through there. Hopefully she checks her slide. Is that in her pre-shot routine?
No. Let's find out. Let's just see
Yeah,
if she
let's
wipes
see.
her shoe or checks it. I think the chances of it are pretty slim. Does she do a little practice slide? Because I don't work on a carpet without a shoe cover on. I'm terrified to do that.
I know. I'm watching them.
Okay, she did a little check slide. Okay, good. We're gonna need one strike here to start off the 10th, and then we can go from there. Love a good strike. That's not a bad shot.
There you go.
Hey, light shaker. All right, Blair, tell me, Utah, how great is it to live there?
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Because you're from the Columbus area?
I am. I'm from Columbus, Ohio originally, and I actually was just there last weekend, and I will tell you that nothing in it made me go. I mean, I miss the food. I miss some of the people, but living in Utah, the mountains, if you've never been to like a Utah or a Colorado or like somewhere where there's mountains, it is amazing. You visited a few years ago. Did some national parks.
I'll share that. So here's something that's kind of shocking. You know what else I love? A good Brooklyn double.
Oh, yeah. Especially
work,
in the 10th frame.
So I work for Frito-Lay, PepsiCo. I was visiting some facilities last summer and late summer. Stay with that, yes. And we have a lot of facilities in Ohio, so flew into Cleveland, visited a new distribution center there, and then went to Canton, which Canton is also an awesome place there. Never been to Pro Football Hall of Fame. Did that.
I was just going to say that's the great thing to see there.
Yep. So Canton, we have a manufacturing plant there. That's where we make our pretzels. That's all of your rolled gold pretzels. Not all, but let's say 90% come from the plant in Canton.
No wonder I love rolled gold.
It's an old Navy building.
Awesome.
It was built in 1942 that PepsiCo took over in the 60s, and we make our pretzels there.
Oh, my gosh.
They have 5 ovens to make pretzels. How about that?
I had no idea.
So we visited some sites. This is early to mid-October. Weather is still nice. One of our guys there, he had us over to his house. He lives in Medina.
Okay, yeah.
So
I had an aunt that lived there. Yeah.
and then the next day we had to go to Worcester. I think
Yeah.
it's Worcester, not
Yes,
Worcester.
it
Worcester.
is. Worcester. Yep.
So we took all the back roads
Oh.
through random Ohio. Every single house was decorated to the nines, and this is out pretty rural,
Yeah.
to the nines with fall orange brown colors. Not Halloween, because I inquired, is this a Halloween? No, this is fall. The leaves were beautiful. I'm like, is Ohio this awesome? I
It
told my
can
wife,
be.
Jeannie, and she was all about fall colors and orange. That's her jam.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Everybody's front porch looked like a Christmas card or a holiday card. What are we talking about here? Is
Rural
Ohio the
Ohio.
best?
Rural Ohio is really nice. There are some cool things to do in Ohio too. I mean, there's some caverns. There's also, there is some hiking, but I tell people when I go back to Ohio now, I'm like, the hiking here is nothing compared to where I hike out in Utah. But it's safer. It's a really great place. A lot of families are moving there now. They're actually building in Columbus, Intel plant.
Okay.
So it's growing. That's for me, moving somewhere where there's no traffic. And then I go back to Columbus, and I'm like, this is too much traffic for me.
Columbus is too much traffic. Columbus.
I know. You're from Dallas. I know.
To each his own.
I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a little bit of traffic. And we were commenting, we're like, the drivers here remind us of Texas drivers. So you must fit right in when you're driving in Louisiana.
Man, I actually worked from the passenger seat yesterday on our 6-hour drive. Jeannie drove the whole way because she likes to drive. And we drove my vehicle, which is a Jeep, and hers is not a Jeep. She goes very fast in her car.
Yeah.
Like
Jeep is my dream car.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, Jeannie, if she's not going 100, she's not happy.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Tony. Well, you need to move on. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope we can have you, if Tori's around this area, we'll have you back in later today.
We should probably, maybe next time I'll come in, maybe we actually talk about the bowling for a minute. I don't know. It's your call.
You're good. If there was a little bit of bowling, a little bit of, we talked about transition. It's tough right now.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
yeah.
But hey, I think it's more fun. I just think it's more fun just to sit here and chat.
Absolutely.
You got a lot of stuff. We're gonna grill you in the next hour.
Oh, geez.
Next time. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanks.
go back to coaching. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. All right. That was, of course, Tony Franklin. He is a great commentator, and I'm sure we will have another special guest coming our way soon. They're already starting bowling. They're rocking today. Perfect. So we have Stephanie Johnson who's going to be joining us in the booth really soon. All right, so we are watching one of the local bowlers here who actually, her family is a big reason that the SYC is in town. She met Miss Leanne at an event, her and her family, and she said, you guys need to come to Louisiana. So that would be Ashton Yoches. She's bowling with Miss Sydney Bone, Caitlin Toney, Veronica West, and Jordan Winiger. Sorry, Jordan. And we also will be watching a little bit of Madison Rook, Allison Olivia, Paris Mendones, Olivia Phillips, and Eliana Ochino. I'm loving Miss Olivia Phillips' outfit here. She is full shamrock because it is St. Patrick's Day, and I can't wait until Stephanie Johnson joins us in the booth because I'm sure she will love Miss Phillips' outfit because she is also full of color on the PWBA tour. So Miss Sydney Bone stepping up here on lane 6. Sydney, like all of these young ladies, I believe she has a couple college visits lined up this weekend, which is fun when you're traveling for different events to do some college visits on the way. Never too young to start looking at some universities, but Sydney is getting close to the age where she will make her decision of where she will spend the next 4 years. Miss Veronica West on lane 5. She's 17 from Louisville, Texas. Favorite pro bowler is Linda Barnes. She loves traveling the U.S. and she has committed to, I want to double check and make sure that I don't get this wrong because I love it when we have college commitments. She committed to bowl for Mount Mercy for the next 4 years, a great university coached by Andy Dirks. She's been in choir since 4th grade, and she is part of the a cappella group in our high school. And she would like to say hi to Tony Franklin and Eric Krause, who are 2 of her biggest fans. We just heard from Tony Franklin. Really cool. We have Miss Katie Toney stepping up. Katie's 16. She's from San Antonio, Texas. She bowls at the lanes at Oak Hills. Her favorite bowler is Kyle Troop because he has the best hair. Dasha, who's an amazing artist. Norm Duke has helped her fundamentals, and she loves his mental game. And Maria Jose Rodriguez is another one of her favorites. Maria's a really nice person. So her favorite bowling achievement is she bowled a 300 game with her mom's equipment. Pretty fun. And she is an artist. She would like to thank the lanes at Oak Hills because they let her practice. It's always great to thank those places that let them practice. Here's Miss Ashton, local here. She's throwing her DNA. She's 18 years old. Her average is 195. She's from Prairieville, Louisiana. She bowls here at the All-Star Lanes of Baton Rouge. Her favorite pro bowler is Clara Guerrero. She loves the bowling community. She is her favorite achievement is being the Advocate Star of Stars Awards in Louisiana, and she can play the clarinet. Her dad, Brian Yoches, is one of her. She always wants to shout out to her coach, Brian, and her mom, who's helping Amy. Amy is actually helping keep score today. So shout out to the locals for sure. See if I'll keep looking for bios while our guest is getting ready. Hello, Miss Stephanie Johnson, Mrs. I should say.
Where's the camera? Right here?
Oh yeah, that's the camera. Yeah, scoot a little. She's like, where is it?
Good morning.
I said earlier that I'm pretty sure that you're gonna love Miss Olivia Phillips' outfit.
So you may not know this. I coach her.
No way.
Yep. She lives in Oklahoma.
I didn't know that.
So she comes down to Plano Super Bowl, and I coach her. She told me a couple years ago that I was kind of her inspiration for her outfits.
Oh, I love it.
She loved the shiny skirts.
Well, I said that. I was like... Yeah.
She's taking it to a whole other level. She's got some pleats going on. She's got the sock game, the headband thing. Well, actually, I got a silver headband going on.
Yeah, you're rocking it today too.
So you just never really know who you may be inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to kind of walk the walk, right?
Well, I can see it, and it's funny. I didn't even know that, and I said, "Oh, Steph is gonna love her outfit when she comes and sits down." So.
She walked by me. I was down towards the high end, and I said, "Oh, you're going to the low end? Okay, I'm going to go do a live stream game." I didn't know she was going to be right here.
Yeah,
but,
that's fun.
Yeah, so here we are.
Now, do you know how she's
going?
been? Oh, it's been going. Listen, I had a morning, so we're.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very promising.
Well, it's fine. I'll tell you later. Everything's working now. That's all that matters.
And we are happy. We have happy faces.
Yeah, that was a good spare. Do you know how Olivia's been bowling today? Did she tell you?
No idea.
You have no idea. All right.
It did not seem.
Oh, most of the scores are probably in. I try not to look at the beginning of games because this is usually when they're putting scores in.
Now this is game 3, correct?
This is game 3. Yes.
Out of 5.
Yes.
So we're just about halfway through.
So let's look here. This is, so game 2 is in. So Eliana Ochino, who is on 7 and 8, she is leading the field for the short pattern right now. She went 229, 234.
Okay.
Savannah Bergen is in second, 203, 214. Karina Capron, she's plus 15 for the event. Amanda Lang, who I believe may have just been to she's just to the right of our camera. You might catch a glimpse of her. Haley Lindley, Paris Mendones, who's on this pair. Paris is bowling on 7 and 8. So you see a couple of girls that are in the top 10. Sydney Bone also is in 8th, and she's on 5 and 6. So
got a nice little group in front of us.
Yeah, and you know what? It drops off right after third, so it goes plus 15, and then the rest of the girls are a little minus. So scores have not been super high today, and that's kind of what we've seen down at this end. I did hear there was a 297, but I think that was on the boys' side. Let's look.
Yeah, I think I heard 296 maybe.
Oh, 296?
But regardless, yes. High game, of course.
Maybe it wasn't on the – I'm looking U18 boys, and I'm not seeing it. So maybe it was younger. Wouldn't put it past the U15 boys.
Right.
296.
There we go.
Elliot Gordon. Oh, yeah. Elliot pulls great all the time. He I believe he just shot 300 back in Columbus last weekend. So, yeah. Crazy. These kids.
And then it makes you think, what did he leave on short pattern? 296. Did he
Yeah.
go through the face and leave the big 4? Did he leave a bucket, go light?
Right. Could have been either.
3, 6, 9, 10.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, but good for him.
Yeah, so this is the current leader right here on lane 7. She didn't like that one.
It's always interesting to me. I'd like to know if the girls or boys know how well they're actually doing.
I think it depends, right?
You know, they
Yeah.
know themselves what their score is, but do they know in regards to the field?
Right.
You know? And it intrigues me because I feel like some people thrive off of knowing how they're doing, and some people don't want to know.
Yeah.
Because then they maybe consciously try harder and then do worse. Or the opposite. Everybody's different. So
Yeah, I think
it's always interesting, especially I think at the younger age,
totally.
of just what is the mindset in, you know, mom, dad, don't tell me, or what's the score, you know, what's the update and it's not updated yet, or
Well, and they have the ability to look on their phones because most of them, like, it's on Volmetrics. So
Right.
do they actively do it themselves or do they not?
Right.
Do their parents tell them not to? Do they? And you know, you bring up a good point. And this was the first time in about probably 2 or 3 events that question didn't come up in your seminar. Because usually there will be a youth bowler or a parent that will ask the pro's perspective, like, do you watch scores? And so then you hear different, and even at your level, it's different.
I touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Because I think it's important to know at least what the scoring pace is.
Right.
Because
Know around you, like,
Right.
are people striking or are people not striking?
Is my Y90 okay?
Yeah.
And if it's okay, then, you know, maybe you don't stress as much or, you know, try any harder, so to speak. But
right.
if the scoring pace is higher, then of course there needs to be some risk involved. We need to change something up because
Sure.
what you're doing is just kind of, you know, average, so to speak.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's a fine line because sometimes the scoring pace drops, sometimes it goes up. You know, you just don't really know.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I loved what you said, like, look at within your division, too. Like, don't look at what the U18 boys are shooting if you're
Right,
in the U15 girls
The
division,
kid that
right?
shot 296, that's fantastic
Yeah.
and good for him, but
Right.
he doesn't affect you,
Yeah.
you know? So
Right.
you may want to see maybe where he's playing if
Yeah.
you can be in that zone or throw something, a similar type ball.
Check the break point. Like, oh, where is he throwing it to? Yeah,
Right.
that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I thought that was a great – you guys – that piece of the seminar was fantastic, and I think kids need to hear it because you get tunnel vision, right? Especially when you're
Yeah.
bowling bad, right? When
Oh,
you're
yeah.
bowling bad, that's when the wheels are falling off, and you're like, you only exist.
You kind of have that freak out mode of
Yeah.
what's happening. It's almost like a out of body experience sometimes, but I think when the kids that I coach, you know, Olivia included, I really use the word aware a lot.
Yeah.
It's very important to be aware of what's going on as far as, the scoring pace, your mental state. How are you feeling? What is your ball reaction telling you? All those things are very important. It's just you can't let it necessarily affect you so much that it takes over. It's just you need to kind of be aware of what's going on.
Right. So we see Miss Veronica West here on 6. Her bio said she just committed to Mount Mercy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Great college program.
Such a cool, I don't want to say time for these kids, but the collegiate programs that are available
It's insane.
is absolutely insane. And to think that, I was in college, 20 plus years ago, that was not really the case.
Listen, 10 years ago it wasn't either. So these kids are lucky. Like I graduated 10 years ago, so it was even longer. But we were talking about that this morning because Kim, who is the general manager here at All Star Lanes, they have a great youth program here.
Okay.
And so she was talking about how she tries to give all of her youth bowlers options of like, hey, go look at this. And it used to be LSU was the best option for them, which is a club program, which I went to a club program too.
I did as well.
Yeah, and there's some good things and negative things that happen at club programs, like anything, right? But now she said there's so many programs that are reaching out to her for the kids that are like brand new programs.
That's awesome.
And she's like, it's incredible to see all the opportunities that are out there. Even Ashton here. Ashton's local here, and she's going to Nebraska next year.
Right.
So,
and I know Clara helps her a lot too.
Yeah.
It's just cool because, on one hand, it can be overwhelming because there are so many options.
Right.
But you kind of have to look at that as a blessing in some ways because, do you want to go to a program that's already established?
Right.
Do you want to go to a new program?
Right. Big school, small school. Like, yeah.
Are you looking to probably go somewhere with a full ride? Are you okay not bowling the first year?
Right.
There's so many things. You really have to kind of look yourself in the mirror and answer those questions yourself. Like, what are you looking to get out of your college experience? For me, when I went to UCF, which is Central Florida, they were just a second-year program.
Right.
So, of course, what we're talking about, there weren't that many options, so to speak, other than the big popular schools. And I just, for me personally, I didn't really want that.
Right.
So, I went to a brand new program that had just started, and my collegiate experience was fantastic.
Yeah.
I adore those girls, and obviously Pat Costello was the coach.
Yeah. Shake it off.
So, I went for the coaching aspect of it. So here I am. My point is that, you can kind of guide your path how you so choose. And that's what I tell all the kids that I do coach. It's, keep your options open.
Yeah.
There's going to be schools that always reach out to you because you're a superstar and schools want superstars. But don't be so closed-minded that that's the only avenue to take.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a few good points, right? Looking in the mirror and going, what do you want to do? I think both you and Clara, it was interesting because Clara, her entire goal was she wanted to be a professional bowler. Mm-hmm. And there are youth bowlers out there that is what they want to do.
Right.
And that is great, right? And then there are other players that are at the youth level and they love bowling and they don't necessarily want to be a pro bowler.
Right.
But being honest with yourself and having that conversation is so important at that age. And then finding a school, maybe your major exists at a school that is a new program and you can be part of building a new program and have, go for 4 years and get your school paid for or part of it paid for, and then
for sure
go and get a job after that really brings you passion. It's all about what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
There's no right answer. There's no secret, right?
At the end of the day, I'd like to think bowling will always be around.
Oh, yeah.
In some capacity, bowling will always be around.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of what we do is that you can do it at whatever level you choose. You don't have to be a professional bowler.
Right.
There are plenty of amateur bowlers that, let's say, make a lot of money.
100%.
Doing I call them weekend warriors.
Yeah.
You know, they're bowling everything they can.
PJ Haggerty comes to mind, right?
Yeah,
Like he
course.
has a great day job, works in the financial field,
Mhm.
and then has a family because that was important to him.
Right.
Goes out and wins regionals.
Right.
Like he has it all.
Got the best of all the worlds,
Yeah,
right?
really.
It's yeah. And it's also challenging too because, you know, the bowling community is really so small.
Oh, yeah.
In many ways. You know, this is like the youth tour that everybody talks about. So everybody
Yeah.
kind of knows everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so easy to kind of get lost in, I don't want to say comparing yourself to other people, but essentially that. You know,
Right.
well, so-and-so's doing this. You know, I need to do this. Well, you're walking a completely different journey, a different life, you know, and it's easier said than done most of the time. But
Yeah.
you kind of have to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, is my passion bowling or is this just something I like and enjoy doing?
Well,
You
and
know.
I think we just had Tony Franklin, who I'm sure you know because you both are from Texas.
Yeah.
We had him in the booth earlier, and we were talking about how, you know, he thought he wanted to go out and be on tour, and he tried it, and he realized that he was a homebody and he didn't love all the travel, and so he stopped and had a family, and now he's out bowling the PBA 50 tour.
Right.
So
And just one.
as you said, you know, bowling is kind of always around in your life. If you love it, it'll be there.
Right.
It's
And
still
when
there.
you're ready for it,
Yeah.
it will be ready for you.
Right.
You know, and it's you know, Shannon and I kind of joke about, you know, we just retired from Team USA, you know, this past year. And I said, we did, but in a lot of ways, it's always going to be there.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
and before we know it, we may be on the senior, you know,
Senior team.
Team USA, you know, traveling, doing that together or something fun, you know.
Yeah.
But my point is that it never really goes away.
Yeah.
You know, even if you stop bowling, you're always kind of exposed to it because, at least for the people here and us, like it's in our blood.
Oh yeah.
It will always be around in some capacity. You might not be actually doing the thing,
Right.
but you're around it, right? Like you maybe don't do the thing a lot,
Nope,
but you
yeah.
are 100% invested in
Right.
this, you know, your job,
Yeah.
everything we do. So it's not always about actually throwing a bowling ball.
Right. And for me, I was the kid that didn't want to be a pro bowler, but I wanted to work in the sport, and I didn't know what it looked like.
Mhm.
But I was like, I always want to be part of it. I just don't know how it all works, and then it all works. Like it does.
It works
Your
itself
life,
out.
your life figures. Yeah. Hopefully, everyone you have the same experience, and things happen, and but most of the time it does happen the way it's supposed to happen. So it's great, and I just love watching these kids because they're all so into it, and these parents, oh my goodness, the parents that just support these kids in all the events and travel. I mean, Brad Starkey just he commented it's in our DNA, which good pun there, Brad. Well, way to go.
Oh,
Yeah, being a parent, but he's a great example. His daughter Abby was bowling in
the
the
PBA.
PBA Junior
Uh-huh.
2 days ago in Ohio, and she's here this weekend. So
Right.
I just shout out to all the parents. You have kids.
So, yeah, I have a unique perspective because
Yeah.
I come from, I wouldn't say a bowling family,
Right.
but, you know, my brother and I bowled a lot growing up, and we were what you would call the weekend warriors.
Right.
We would go to these youth tournaments in Florida and just travel all around. And as a kid, you don't really understand and comprehend what goes into that.
Yeah.
You just show up, parents paid for everything,
Yeah.
and you bowl. And sometimes you bowl good, sometimes you bowl bad,
Right.
and you go home. Well, now that I have 2 kids, I have such a different appreciation and respect for all of the parents here
Yeah.
because I've walked in the kids' shoes and now I'm in the parents' shoes. So I understand that it takes so much behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Not just financially, but like the mental exhaustion of the travel,
Yeah.
of the, maybe dealing with the crying kid
Yeah.
or the the whatever happened.
Yeah,
you know,
every kid here wants to win. So
of course.
one youth bowler is going to win at the end of the weekend, and the parents are dealing with the emotions
Of course.
of not only the winning kid, but the kids who came in wanting to win. Right?
Of course, yeah. And
They're like psychologists.
I mean, I kind of talked about it in the seminar.
You
I said,
did, yeah.
Listen, like everybody that signs up to bowl, no matter what level you're at, wants to win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, only 6 of these kids will walk away with a trophy.
Right.
You know, will it be you? It's very possible. But, you know, I really, really try to tell anybody that I come and encounter with and have these conversations that you can't base your success off of championships.
Right.
Because if that were the case, I would be an absolute failure. I only have 4. I don't want to say it only. I mean, I have 4 titles on tour.
Don't say only. You do have 4 titles on tour.
I have 4 titles, right?
Yeah.
Completely happy and excited about all of them.
Yeah. And you are so humble about it. And that was the one thing, not to change the subject, but Clara and you both, one of the moments I wanted to be like, do you kids see how humble these girls are? Because both of you are, I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible. And you don't give yourself enough credit.
Well,
yeah, but go ahead, keep going.
There's a way to do it.
Yeah,
I
right?
think, you know.
Absolutely.
But
it's great. You do a great job.
at the end of the day, you know, you have, as a player, no matter what sport you're competing in, you know, there's only going to ever be a winner.
Totally. Yeah.
So, you know, the likelihood of it always being you is just not realistic.
Right.
So you have to go in knowing that you may not win.
Right.
But there has to be a winning takeaway for you that, hey, listen, you know, I made the cut, or, you know, in my lowest of lows, I made a bold ball change and I did something that I maybe wasn't comfortable doing, but I did it. And I think that's what's important for these kiddos to really understand. It's like, okay, maybe I bowled a 150, but then I followed it up with a 210.
Exactly.
I didn't let that 150, you know, guide me down this path of just destruction, you know, because standing back here, you see it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you hear it. You hear the way certain people talk to each other and the mannerisms and just everything, you know, and it's just interesting because there's a distinct difference between the ones that can let it go and just, you know, move on, and then the ones that dwell on them.
Yes.
On the bad games, on the bad shots, whatever the case may be. And that's what separates the groups, the people, you know, again, not just at the youth level, but, you know, during the league, during, you know, PWBA, PBA, that never changes. And it's just super important that the quicker somebody can kind of like snap out of it, the better off they're going to be. Like some kid, as I was walking here, stopped me. He said, hey, I just pulled a really bad game. How do you guys bounce back from that? I said, look, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's this magic potion that you just, okay, it's fine, and you just move on.
Right.
You literally, again, have to assess, why was it a bad game?
Right.
You know, and you have to be honest with yourself. Did I throw the ball bad? Or do I have the wrong ball?
Right. Is it me or is it something else?
What are
right?
the questions?
Yeah.
What are the things going on? You know, I didn't watch him bowl. And he said, okay. And I said, you know, only you know that answer.
Right.
And compartmentalize it. Like, that game is over. You're now moving on. And try to just start over.
Yeah.
You know, hit the reset button.
And you don't know if it was a not so great pair. Like, did everyone on your pair bowl a good game and you didn't? Or was it like everyone on your pair bowled a bad game? Like,
yeah, there's going to be pairs like that you just are kind of anomalies where just you can't figure it out. And before you know it, it's the 7th frame. The game is pretty much over and you're still lost. Yeah. You know, so.
We have Miss Jordan up here on lane 6, and I'm going to jinx her. But look at her. She's on a 5-bagger.
Mm-hmm.
She figured something out in this game.
Pop off a couple of those big games, get you right back in there.
Absolutely. It can happen quick.
Even Miss Olivia here.
Yeah, everyone. This pair has not proven to be a high-scoring pair. So Katie's like, "Why are you set up here?"
Well,
The Ethernet
this
is
where the
behind us.
internet is the best.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's. I probably wouldn't have chosen this area either, but you know what? We're at the mercy of where the Ethernet cord is.
That is the answer, and we
Yeah.
are sticking to it.
Yeah, really.
It's actually the truth.
Yes, it is. It is. It is true. But yeah, no, you bring up a lot of great topics, and you and Clara did a fantastic seminar. So any parents, if your youth bowler comes to an SYC, we do have either a seminar or Q&A. We usually say it's a Q&A, and it turns into a seminar because lately, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but most of the time when you do Q&As, usually kids have no questions. But the last 3 Q&As that we've done at SYCs,
Right.
when I go, do you guys have any questions? The hands are like up.
Right.
So I don't know what the magic sauce is out here, but
Well,
they're-
you put up a big goodie bag of stuff. So
oh, that's it.
You intrigued them with, if you have a question, you may get a little something out
right?
of here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's all about the prizes. So and they had some good questions.
They
They
had
put
some
you guys on
really-
the spot a few times.
had some really good questions, and I love that because it just sparks a genuine conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And what I think these kids probably don't really understand is that me specifically, I've walked in their shoes.
Right.
I've bowled junior gold.
Yeah.
I've done the thing, you
You've
know?
bowled in college.
Right.
This whole thing. You got it.
Like I can tell you my story.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's going to be your story, but that there can be happy endings.
Yes.
So to speak.
Right.
You know, that things can work out, and you do have some control over how it goes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's hard to really accept that.
Well, I think Eliana Ochino here, who's we mentioned she was leading earlier. She's having a little bit of a rough game, but she's an interesting story too for a lot of the youth players. She only started bowling about 3 or 4 years ago, and just loved it, right? And put her parents supported her wholeheartely. They're not bowlers, and I remember meeting them at one of the first SYCs, and they came up to us and they're like,
We don't know what to do.
We don't even know what to do.
Where do we check in?
Yeah, like
what's this?
And beyond that, it's like, how do we get her a coach? Because she had a coach that she was working with, and I think she's still working with that coach. And for parents that aren't in the sport, they were coming to events and they're like, all these kids are working with one certain coach, or is our coach good enough? And these are all the questions that you have because they were used to organized team sports. And so in organized team sports, your coach travels with you.
Right.
In bowling, that doesn't always happen, and that's okay, right?
Right.
And it's based on everyone's personal journey. Like, if you have a coach at home, that's fantastic, and you're good with it, and you learn to bowl on your own, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So she's really worked through a lot of the different things, and she's come a long way. She's excelling in her high school program. So bowling is just such an open book.
It's so unique because everybody's story is so different, you know, and like my kids who are soon to be 6 and 9 years old, they have a bowling ball, and I would say they bowl, but they are not bowlers.
Right.
You know, there's a very distinct difference, you know, and I look back, I started when I was 6 years old. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Yeah. You know, it was exactly, my parents did what I'm doing, exposing their kids to things.
Right.
And bowling was just the one thing that never went away.
Right.
Like, it was something my brother and I did, typical Saturday morning league. Then it turned to Saturday and Sunday. Then it turned into the tournaments, and it just snowballed. You know, high school was my turning point. So this age was my turning point. So that's why I think it's important that these kids understand that where they're at is perfectly fine.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you don't have to be the best bowler at 14 years old.
Not at all.
It can all change.
These kids would all kick my butt at
Yeah.
where I was at 14, you know, and I think,
And it works out.
yeah.
4 PWBA titles later.
Yeah, I was like, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know, you could be on Team USA for almost 2 decades and
Yeah.
travel the world and do things, you know, and so that's why, you know, for my kids, bowling anyway, if they decide to pursue it, even at a later age, like
Yeah.
some of these kids have done, like there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know, there's no perfect path or
There isn't.
correct way.
Everyone wants that magical answer that doesn't exist. They just want to know. They're like, how do you do it?
What's
And
the
it's-
secret? They're
It's like hard work, right? That's it.
hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, forgive me, but you know, I bust my bottom all the time. You know,
Oh yeah.
I knew I was coming here. I brought balls because I
You
figured
did.
if I could just practice one day, it's better than no days.
Absolutely.
You know, and
because you're getting ready to go out on tour.
yeah, that's
It's gonna
just
be here before
yeah.
you know it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
first weekend of May.
Yeah.
So you know, all of my lessons, I end all my lessons back home in the end of March,
Yeah.
and then April is like my time to
Get back.
really
The
get into that
gym,
zone.
Yeah. Like.
Just hitting the lanes with patterns, drilling balls. You know, I'm super, super fortunate that Chris Warren's Pro Shop is in Plano Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
They have the lanes in there. So it's a newer surface. You could put patterns out.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
So
And do they have Specto there too? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's even better. Like, I think Specto.
it's its own little, you know, training facility.
It's great.
You know.
Cool. All right, Steph. We're gonna take a short break.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. We will have you back on for sure. We have.
I will be here all day, whether you want me or not.
Oh no, we want you. So, but it looks like we have no bowlers in front of us, so you can't watch anything right now. So we're gonna play a couple commercials, and then we will be back.
Experience plus enthusiasm equals excellence. Technology you can trust. Years in the making. Every innovation that Storm has developed has led us to this moment of absolute perfection is within and awaits. At its core, the response is absolute power. Brand new, the Absolute. Available at your Storm VIP Pro Shop.
All right, we are back. We have some new bowlers to watch in front of us. Let's see who we are watching. We are waiting for a special guest to join us in the live stream booth. And we are watching some U18 girls. On 7 and 8, we have saw Mary Beth Baker. You see Haley Lindley on lane 8. I must have lost a sheet of my lane assignments. All right, here we go. On lane 7 and 8, we are watching Brianna Archibald. She'll step up on lane 7, who she is actually recovering from an injury this week. We almost didn't think we were going to watch her. You just saw Haley Lindley on lane 8 convert that spare. We'll also see Carly Betts, Layla Langere, and that is 7 and 8. On lanes 5 and 6, we are watching Miss Maliana Kalu, Parker Blanchard, Caroline Energon. Man, they're killing me with these names this weekend. And Alyssa Bechtel. We also have Addison on this pair. Addison is stepping up on lane 5. So I apologize for butchering all of the names on 5 and 6. See if we have some bios on some of these youth players. I'm sure we do, because the young ladies always fill out their bios. And I say that and I don't have a bio. Milana, I don't have a bio for. Brenna Hartzler, also in lane 8. She wasn't in my grouping. We did have a lot of last-minute adjustments. There were many youth bowlers at this tournament who had injuries or travel changes. So Miss Brenna Hartzler, who will be attending the University of Nebraska next year, you'll see her step up on lane 7 and 8. Carly Betts on lane 7. She's 16 years old. She's from Roseville, California. Danielle McEwen is one of her favorite bowlers to watch, and I see a little Danielle in her. She enjoys the thrill of competing. Her favorite achievement was winning a YBT sport doubles tournament with her brother Tyler Betts. And outside of bowling, she enjoys skiing and golfing. All right, Miss Addison on lane 5. This is her very first SYC. Nice spare there. She's from Prairieville, Louisiana. Bowls at Premier Lanes in Gonzales, Louisiana. Her favorite pro bowler is Packy Hannaran. She loves meeting new friends in the competition of bowling. She made state finals in singles as a freshman, and she bowled her highest game ever on a sport pattern at the Chris Barnes Thanksgiving tournament, and she won the Grand Prix tournament. She is self-proclaimed a beast at Rubik's Cubes, which I think is a great skill to have. I cannot do a Rubik's Cube, and I don't understand how people can. But Addison, if maybe she can show me how before the weekend's over. She wants to give a shout out to her dad and all the coaches who have helped her get to where she is today. Miss Haley Lindley, who's off to Vanderbilt. She's from Greenwood, South Carolina. Her favorite Pro Bowlers are Parker Bone and Doug Kent. She loves the competitive environment of bowling, and she's made a lot of friends through bowling, and she is happy to be part of the sport. She had the high female average for the state for the 2021 season, and she loves to cook in her free time. Haley is one of the nicest young ladies ever. If you are bowling a tournament and you need to meet a new friend or you're feeling nervous, go talk to Haley. She is so sweet to everyone. See what other bios we have. I don't have a bio for Miss Blanchard. This young lady has a beautiful jersey on. I love that red, white, and blue. Feel like that's Malaya. She's from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, the young lady that just bowled on lane 6. She bowls at Nellie Fox Bowl. Favorite Pro Bowler is Verity Crawley. She won the PJBT Girls Invitational in the handicap division. She also plays basketball. Got Miss Alyssa Bechtel on lane 6. She's from Erlanger, Kentucky. She bowls a lot of the GYBTs and a lot of the tournaments in Kentucky. But she won the GYBT Tournament of Champions a few years ago. And she also won the EYT Battle Royale. She loves to bake cakes. And she has been helping Miss Leanne in the tournament office this weekend. She volunteered. See if Layla filled out her bio. She did. Miss Layla on lane 7. She's 18 years old. She's going after her baby split here. It's also her first SYC, and she's also from Prairieville, Louisiana. Bowling next to her sister, Addison. Her favorite Pro Bowler is Shannon Pluhowski and Shannon O'Keefe. Now, Shannon Pluhowski is here this weekend working with I Am Bowling, so I'm sure she's getting to meet her, which is awesome. She loves friends that become family through the sport of bowling. She finished top 35 in singles at the National High School Bowling Championship. And she also went to the state championship her junior year of high school. In her free time, she loves reading and spending time with her family. She wants to say hi to her parents and especially her coaches, Karen and Steve Bean, too. Miss Brenna Hartzler, she's going off to Nebraska, but she is 17 years old. She is from Smithville, Ohio, and her home bowling center is Wayne Lanes. Favorite Pro Bowler, Norm Duke. She has bowled a few 300s, and those are her favorite bowling achievements. And she wants to say hi to her sister Brittany, who she knows is watching, and also her puppies. She wants to give a shout out to her puppies. Miss Brianna Archibald. Brianna is a past SYC champion, as is Brenna Hartzler. Brenna just was co-champion, our first ever co-champion in Florida with Miss Morgan Klein. Brenna, at the SYC, if you are tied at the end of 15 games, you become a co-champion. So Brenna and Morgan were tied at the end of 15 games. There's no roll-offs. They both are champions. So Brianna Archibald won in Vegas a few years ago. She's from a great family of bowlers, but she has made a name for herself. She just moved to Martin, Tennessee from Idaho, so she could drive to this event. Her favorite pro bowler is Julia Bond and Daria Payak. And her favorite part of bowling is that she can see the progress that she can make, and she loves helping kids out and encouraging them to have fun and just bowl. She likes giving back to the sport already at such a young age. Her favorite achievement is winning the SYC in Las Vegas and also winning high school state. And she also drag races in her free time. She really enjoys learning new things about her cars, and her fastest pass was 84 miles an hour. That's a crazy achievement. It's Caroline here. Get that. Oh, I jinxed her. I think she got that spare. All right, sorry, we had to make that little call right there. That was a really close spare. All right. So looking at the scores, we're about halfway through game 4. These pairs down here are just proving to be pretty challenging for the young ladies. And actually, they've been challenging all day for all the bowlers that hit these pairs. So if you're watching the youth players, they're tricky down here. I'm not sure whether they started them too deep or whether it's just truly these pairs are hard. Let's look at some scores. Our scores, of course, can be found on bowlmetrics.com. You can go and use the drop down to select the division and select which lane pattern you're looking for. Miss Alyssa Bechtel, who you're watching on 5 and 6, she was in 3rd going into this game. I think she's still having a pretty good game. And you know what? In 3rd, these scores, the short pattern is just hard. All the U15 girls division, they're minus. Malia Briggs, who we're watching on this pair, I believe. Yep, she's on this pair too. She's in 1st, leading at minus 68. Maliana Kalo, she is minus 87, and Alyssa Bechtel is 3rd. So this whole pair is in the top 3 right now. Tori Franklin is in 4th. Brianna Archibald in 5th. She's to the right of this pair. And Caroline Engerin, she's in 6th. So lots of young ladies that are in the top 10 are bowling right in front of us. In the U18 girls division, it looks like Savannah Bergen went around to Eliana Ochino after her last game. Haley Lindley, who you just saw on lane 8, she's in 3rd currently. Abigail Starkey's in 4th. Karina Capron 5th. Jordan Wingerter, she is in 6th. Olivia Phillips in 7th. Carly Betts in 8th. Brenna Hartzler in 9th. And Amanda Lang in 10th. And Mary Beth Baker is right outside of the top 10. She's on lane 7. She is 11th currently. So a lot of the young ladies that you're watching in front of us, they're bowling very, very well based on the scoring pace at the SYC. So this short pattern is, it's hard. It is hard out there. We started off as a 37-foot pattern, and we have a volume of 26 mils. It's Parker here on lane 6. I'm sorry. See that ball, it just, it takes off. It's not a lot of hold in the middle right now for these young ladies. It's Brianna, good shot. A little early, but good shot. Good shot right there. She liked it too. Addison is working really hard. She has left a lot of spares. She's picked up a lot of her spares this game. Just maintaining that pocket. She only has one open frame, and it was a bucket. So she'll take it. Thanks to everyone who's watching the chat today. Thanks for spending your day with us, watching some SYC bowlers. We are in game 4. We're nearly done with game 4. We'll be moving into game 5 next. And then we'll take a short break. And the bowlers will come get some lunch, get some rest, and come back and bowl 5 more games on the medium pattern. Nice shot there. Nice shot there by Malia. We were talking earlier. It's unfair that when you throw a good shot that all the pins don't fall down. Kaylee Lindley, another good shot there. Looks like they've had to move in a little bit, and it's just managing that pocket and making sure you have a ball that gets through the pins the right way is the key right now where they are at on this short pattern. Good spare. Good spare by Haley. She's frustrated. She just looked at Sydney like, what do I have to do to get all 10 pins down? Leanne, do you have time? Do you have time? Can you sit down for 5 minutes? All right, I'm joined by Miss Leanne in the booth. Hello, Leanne.
Hey Blair, how's the live stream going?
It is working, so that's good. These pairs are tricky. This pattern is tricky.
Yeah, there's some high scores, but I think overall it's kind of low scoring today.
Yeah, I was just looking at some scores, and U15 minus 60. I don't want to quote it wrong.
U15 girls.
U15 girls minus 68 is leading right now. So
What
it's
about
tricky.
U15 boys? That division's really competitive, and we have lots
U15
of
boys
entries.
They're good. It's plus all the way. The U15
Okay.
boys might be leading the whole field. Let's look at
Okay.
U18 boys, because
Yeah, they
Gordon
might be higher.
Elliott Gordon's
Oof.
plus 170 right now. Yeah, look, plus 83 in the U18 boys.
All right.
So yeah, but the girls, I believe the
How's the
U18 girls, they drop off too, minus 15. So girls are struggling on this short
I
pattern.
think a lot of boys are throwing urethane. I don't know if a lot of girls throw urethane.
Yeah. So give us some facts of the tournament. How many states are represented
I
about?
believe we have 24.
Okay. And how many new bowlers?
We had almost half the field. I think it was 75 new families.
That is incredible.
I think it might be our highest. Yeah, we've had a lot of questions. So the new families are asking questions, and
It's great. Lots of locals. I see a lot of youth bowlers from Louisiana coming through the.
I think the
The
bulk of the
pairs?
new ones are Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Mixed in with some past SYC champions. We
Yep.
see Larry L down on 4.
We had 18 previous SYC champions.
Awesome.
Larry L is from Florida. Jane Uhas is from Florida. Christopher Wagner.
Yeah.
Those were our Florida champions from last year.
Brenna Hartzler too, co-champion.
Brenna
Yep.
Morgan. So maybe all of our Florida champions are here. Garrett Andrus. Yes.
Yeah.
All of the
Oh, wow.
Florida November champions are here. We have
Mary Beth Baker here is the past SYC champ.
Yep. Karina Capron won in Vegas
Nice.
last month.
Defending her title and sort of.
Kinda.
Yeah.
For 2023.
Yeah.
Who else? Let me think.
I wonder how many times, we would have to look this up, how many times youth bowlers have gone back to back in
Titles?
tournaments.
In SYCs?
Yeah, like back to back in a year, and then back to back, like defend a state.
Yeah,
We'd have
I
to
usually
pull
like
the
to check
fact.
them from defending champion, but I think maybe the only one who did that last year might have been Brady.
Right.
Didn't Brady win
Oh,
two
yeah,
in a row?
back to
I think
back.
he had 2 seconds, and that he either because he was on a second, first, second. So I
Yeah.
don't know if Brady won back to back.
Mateo did it a few years ago. He was on a
Yes.
streak. Spencer, I'm sure, has done
Did
it.
Abby win 2 in a row? I think Abby won 2 in
Yeah.
a row last fall. Maybe like August and September, maybe.
We'll have to look up that fact when we go back to the office. I'm sure we can pull it.
It's tricky,
Yeah.
but so competitive that that's not easy to do.
Miss Brianna, we said she had a little bit of a fall.
She's looking pretty good right now.
Doesn't look like that knee's bugging her. Said she got a shot.
She got a cortisone shot.
Yeah. Ouch. Those hurt. Miss Caroline
Good
here.
pin action. Good
Yes.
smile.
We had a very close spare that we had to call earlier with Miss Caroline.
Uh-oh.
It was I had to make a call, and I was like, oh, it was
Did the machine come down or
stressful.
something? Or
No, she actually, I believe she hit the pin, but the ball was like going in the gutter. I'm like, don't do that again.
Oh.
It was like close.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell if it bounced out or it was so close. We all were trying to figure it out.
You know, here's a fun fact on the weekend. There are a lot of girls who, 3 in particular that I know, Carly, Sydney, and Karina, are doing college visits down here at some of the schools while they are, after they're done bowling, they're going to visit some potential colleges.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, and we have some commitments already. Brenna is going to Nebraska. Haley's off to Vandy. There was a young lady who was bowling here before. There was a young lady who's committed to Mount Mercy like last week.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
so-
then what was the other one? Shoot. It was Mary Beth is going to
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Duquesne,
Yeah,
yep.
close to home.
We used to call it Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Duquesne, like chips and
Oh,
queso.
Duquesne. That's what I would call it. Going to Duquesne.
We used to talk about that with one of the girls who moved on to Duquesne.
That's
so
funny.
we used to call it Duquesne.
Yeah, so she's off there. It's going to be sad next year. A lot of
I
the,
know.
as it is every year when kids age out.
But then new youth bowlers come along. It looks
Yeah.
like we got the U12 coming in to this pair next, and those are fun. We got young Henry and Ellie Kate. Ellie Kate's on the live stream. Should we sound an alarm? Where's Amanda?
For anyone watching, we have a slight ball drop on the live stream pair in Florida a couple years ago with Miss Ellie Kate, and she broke her hand in a couple
Severely.
places. She'll show you she still has one finger that's you know needing surgery, but it was scary for us to watch it unfold right in front of us.
If Ralph comes in
So
the booth,
sad.
it would be a complete redo. So we
We're
cannot
gonna
do that.
keep Ralph out.
Ralph, don't come in the
No,
booth.
we don't
Game
like
5.
any accidents.
Yeah.
No. Good shot by Brenna.
Oh, look, Olivia Fellner has chosen a university, and I love this choice. Olivia's going to McKendree.
Smart choice, Olivia.
And her game is solid. Have you had a chance to watch her bowl today?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yep.
as all these kids are, but it's Olivia's. Tony Franklin and I were watching Olivia bowl, and he goes,
Yep.
"I've never really seen Olivia
Olivia
bowl."
has bowled a lot of SYCs.
She has,
yes. And she will become, as if she's already a good bowler,
Yeah.
she will become a better bowler going to McKendree
100%.
if she soaks it all in, right?
Yeah.
With you have some good coaches there, Brian and Shannon O'Keefe, pretty good bowlers and coaches, and they love their kids. So.
Yes. Well, there's just so many opportunities for youth bowlers these days.
For sure.
So many colleges to
For
choose from.
sure.
All right, well, we are wrapping up game number 4. We're going to take a short break. It looks like 5 and 6 is a little ahead of 7 and 8. I'm telling you, these pairs, the pattern is hard, but these pairs look to be extremely tricky too, the last couple. So I'm not sure if they started with boys and then it's been girls
Could
through.
be,
So I'm
yeah.
not sure if that was the tricky part of these pairs. But they have proven to be.
Hopefully the medium pattern gets the scores going up a little bit. Although we have had some high scores.
Yes. Miss Carly
Alright.
Betts here.
Carly has been accepted to 7 schools so far.
Wow.
Carly's like an exceptional student.
Yeah.
She's from Northern California. I've known their family for a long time.
Her brother too bowled at SYC's, right?
Her brother,
Or was he-
Tyler, is off to the Secret Service. He's
Oh,
studying
wow.
criminal. Yeah, he's
Nice.
super smart.
That's cool.
Yeah. They're the family I had ice cream with. Remember I told you
Oh,
that
that's
story?
right.
Such a
Yeah.
nice family.
Yes.
Yep.
Carly throws it great.
Carly's the youngest of 3. She has an older sister and an older brother.
Nice.
I'm not sure if her older sister bowled. She might have bowled a little bit. She went to San Luis Obispo. And then Tyler went to Southern Methodist. Is that right? Bob Learn's school?
I think
Southern
so, yeah.
Methodist? Yep. And he is going to continue 2 more years somewhere else. And he's actually they're kind of looking at the same school potentially.
That'd
And
be
that
fun.
would be kind of fun for them and their family.
Yeah. Mary Beth Baker. Hi, Sarah Baker. She just said hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Mary Beth
Mary
just
Beth is tired.
converted that washout there.
Nice.
That was a good spare with her IQ Tour Emerald, and IQ Tour Ruby, and she's making a ball change to her DNA.
Mary Beth was bowling high school championships or something on Friday. And
These
flew
kids.
down. Like there's like crazy travel.
We were talking about Abby. Abby was on
Yeah.
here earlier. I mean, these kids are super travelers. Haley wants off of this pair as soon as possible.
Well, she should have struck on that. That was a good shot.
She's had a couple that should have struck. So good shot by Mary Beth. Brooklyn, take it, Mary Beth.
No, you're right. These pairs don't look good at all.
Thank you.
Eek. Ugh.
Yeah. I keep looking up the
Breeze,
standings.
the lone potential 200.
Here's the sad part about these. So I look up the standings, and the girls that we're watching are like 1, 2, 3, and they're coming to this pair, and they're having the worst game that they've bowled all day. So it's not you guys. It's not the bowlers. These pairs are brutal. So
That's tough. Eeh.
Haley takes her spare ball and moves on.
Yeah,
But-
she's like, I'm out of here.
Look at her mental game, though. She's like, yeah, whatever. I'll come back next
She's
game.
holding it in.
She is.
If I were her, I'd be kicking the bag. Boom.
She
Breeze got the lone 200 chance.
You know, she went with a big ball.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
good shot.
She went with a big ball, and she moved right, which is what actually Tori Franklin did, and that was successful for the girls' pair earlier. Leanne, we have to let you go and collect some scores, and I
Yeah.
believe Clara Guerrero is
I'll go grab
joining.
Miss Clara.
All right, send Clara in.
Hola.
All right.
She be coming in. Hola. We
All
should have Spanish subtitles
Oh,
for
that'd be
Clara.
awesome. Well, thanks for joining
Yes.
us, and
Yes.
we'll chat with you
Thanks
later.
for tuning in, everybody.
Yes. All right, so we are, as we said, the U15, U18 mixed girls pair is going to move on. And we have some U12 bowlers in front of us. Past champion in Mr. Christopher Wagner is on this pair. We have, let's see who else we have over here. Let me pull out my Mr. Henry. Henry, who knows every fact there is to know about a storm bowling ball. Good. All right, we are back, and I am joined by Clara. Clara, welcome to the Storm booth.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Blair.
Is this your first SYC?
It is. It is
Ah.
my first one. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the kids. I'm enjoying all different styles. They're having such a good time. So a couple of them are suffering a little bit. I think this pattern is a little bit tough.
Oh my goodness. It
Yes.
looks so hard. We were just commenting, like, the pair of U18 girls, the high was 191 on that pair. So
Yes.
short pattern, not fun.
No fun day for them. Maybe morning, and I hope this afternoon is a lot better.
Yeah.
But it's a difficult pattern. The girls were also following the guys.
Yes.
And it's a little bit of a difficult transition there. They usually start with urethane, with a lot more surface. A lot of carry down happens. And for the girls, it's just a little bit harder to follow that.
Yeah.
But it's a good experience, and it's part of the game. And they're just, in the middle of the process of becoming great bowlers. So,
That's
but
right.
it's fun. It's fun to see, fun to watch.
Yeah, so we have a lot of young players in front of us. So let's see who we have. I'll try to read off some names. You just saw Trevor Mason on lane 6. He's from Texas.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
you've probably seen some Trevor around. Matthew Dorsett. Evan Morrison is also on this pair. Henry Mann. Alejandro Castaneda. And Lydia. Oh, I'm sorry. And then, yeah, that is that pair. I think I got everybody. Okay, and then our young ladies on 7 and 8. We of course have Ellie Kate Murray on lane 8. Lydia, adorable, yes. Lydia Gordon, Taylor Morgan, Jane Juhas, Kamari Cope, and Alyssa Hunt. So those are the youth athletes we're watching. Look at little Taylor Morgan too. Look at Taylor and Ellie Kate.
Adorable,
Right.
adorable. I like 7 and 8.
Yeah, they're so cute.
And actually, I just saw a couple of the boys on 5 and 6. throw great shots on a strike. They're making it look amazing, much better than when I went to the high end and I saw the youth 18.
Well, look at
So-
Taylor. Taylor just struck.
Yes.
We have every young lady
Everyone
has
is
struck.
striking. I know. Here we have a couple of guys, one with a double,
Yeah.
few strikes. So actually, finally, we got the good players.
That's it. It's taking all day.
Oh, this is good to see.
U12 is kicking the U18 girls' butt. You tell them. So
Definitely seems like it.
yeah, right. Miss Jane, she's a past SYC champion. She won in Myrtle Beach last year.
Nice.
Look at that ball. You're
again,
right.
They're making it look amazing.
It's
Maybe we
not
just need
hard.
to throw it like them.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh my goodness.
You know, the difference, obviously, they're just matching up at this moment,
Yeah.
but they are truly enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
They want to win. They're competitors, but they most of the time they don't have really the expectations
No.
that
Yeah.
the older kids put on themselves and the parents and all that.
Yeah.
That comes into play. So I think that allows them to just come to a difficult pattern and approach it much easier.
The U12 is, I say this every time, and it's no offense to any other division, but the U12 is my favorite to watch because they are truly just having fun. They're
Yes.
just out there, and whoever wins is great, but they make the most friends, I think. Like, by the end of the day, they're all buddies and hanging out. So, now, did you start bowling when you were this age?
I was, yes.
Yeah.
I started when I was 9.
Okay.
My parents used to bowl. My grandfather was the founder of the bowling club in my hometown.
Oh,
Where
wow.
his buddies, there were like 7 of them, and they used to bowl. And they were like, "Well, let's just create a bowling center, a bowling club," and they
Wow.
just got together and did it. So definitely grew up in a bowling family. My
Yeah.
brother used to bowl, and yeah, I was around 9, maybe 8
Nice. Yeah.
when I started competing. And since then, you know, I was pretty disciplined, and now here I am.
Pretty
still bowling.
decent, she says. Whatever. I was talking to Steph earlier. I thought you guys did a great seminar, and you both are so humble about your own careers. You are two of the hardest working ladies on the PWBA tour. Now, when did you make Team Columbia as a youth player? How old were you?
I was 13.
13. Oh, so very
Yes,
young.
very
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit difficult because it was for an event. Well, the first one was for the Pan American Championships, and I believe it was under 18, and I was
Okay.
very young.
Oh, yeah.
So we really didn't know if I was going to make the team then.
Right.
But my parents were like, "You need to go try out. Like, this is part of the process.
Yeah.
Let's see how you do." And then
Oh,
I made
that's
the
great.
team. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the year after, I made it to the World Championships in Hong Kong, and it was an under 23 event.
Oh.
And I finished like 75th, average like 170 with my, you know, I think I got to Hong Kong and I bought a bowling ball because I didn't have many.
Yeah.
It was definitely a funny experience, but
Sure.
very motivating. Being part of a national team so young definitely made me believe in the game more
Yeah.
and kind of wanted to work harder because I was able to travel the world, not only have fun, but see how much better the other people,
Sure.
you know, were.
Yeah. Right.
So I was like, I really got to work hard. So every time I went home and, you know, talk to my coach and work on different things. And that was just kind of how I did it.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think you know, you talk a lot about your parents and the coaches that you worked with, and I think it's so important for these youth athletes to hear that because you had super supportive parents that were in it the whole time, and they were like, "Yes, well, we'll make your dreams come true," kind of. And some of these kids, I mean, this weekend, the parents are sacrificing things to get their kids here this weekend. So saying thank you is important, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
My parents did a lot for my dreams, for my bowling career. And like you're saying, these kids, like the whole entire family, the parents are behind, the sisters, the brothers. I mean, it becomes a family trip,
Yeah.
and it isn't cheap,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
No, it's not.
And they are also kind of suffering in the back with them, you know? You see their faces, it's funny. But
Yeah.
we need to be very thankful and very grateful for what they do. And in an athlete career, parents' support is just fundamental. For
Yeah,
sure.
it is. Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, some of these parents, now your parents bowled, but like these youth athletes, some of them, their parents may not know sport shot conditions, right? And
Agree.
so it's it's hard.
Yes,
It's
yes,
very hard.
very much so.
Yeah.
Some of them are lucky enough to have parents that that competed
Yeah.
in the same sport.
Right.
But it's difficult because they just turn around. They're struggling. They don't know what to do. They turn around, look at the parents, and the parents are like, "I don't know. I'm clueless.
Really. Like,
I
figure
just
it
want
out.
to support you,
Yeah.
but I don't know anything." And that makes it definitely difficult.
Sure.
But we all have been there.
Oh, yeah.
In my case, my parents did bowl. They were great bowlers, but we didn't have the money for them to travel with me.
Sure.
I was lucky enough to travel with my coach.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But and that was a big effort that they did for me. They were like, okay, we cannot travel, but we'll at least we'll send you with someone.
That's great.
So I was able to learn a lot in the process because I had him.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
Right.
And the kids are just gonna get better with the experience. Competing every weekend, bowling the SYCs, these experiences just make them better and just more complete as bowlers.
Oh,
It's just
absolutely.
part of the game.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see if we have some bios. Some of the youth players fill out their bios, some don't. So Henry Mann here on lane 6, he's from Bourne, Texas. He bowls at the lanes at Oak Hills. His favorite pro bowler is Jason Belmonte. Not a
Of
bad one to
course.
choose, right?
Of course.
I think if they're two-handed, they usually lean towards a Jesper, a Jason, a Kyle. Kyle Troop comes up a lot now.
Yes.
Yeah. This is his second SYC. He loves earning scholarship money through bowling, but his favorite thing is striking.
Yes, my favorite thing is striking too.
Yeah. So he won the U12 Youth Masters in San Antonio this year, and he likes Minecraft. He has a golden doodle, and he's getting a new puppy next week. We named him Cowboy. Oh, we have to ask Henry about his new puppy. We are puppy
Yes.
people. So he wants to say hi to his friends at Oak Hills and Astro Super Bowl, excuse me.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, San Antonio.
Yeah. All right, let's see where Alejandro. Oh, we don't have a bio for Alejandro. I think he's from
He's
Texas.
also
so-
two-handed.
Yes.
He has been throwing it pretty good. That one overhooked a little bit, but
That short pattern. Especially
Yes.
with the lower ball speeds. Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness. So
definitely challenging. I think they're going to have a little bit more fun with the medium and the long.
I agree. Yeah.
I love to see how many two-handed players and with great techniques. Obviously, they are, very young. They're,
Yeah.
they're just developing strength and all that, but they're actually throwing it pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These kids know what they're doing.
It talks highly about the coaches around the area, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, I mentioned that earlier because I think, and I don't know how you feel, but I feel like the fundamentals of youth bowling is the best it's ever been, which
agree.
is like coaching,
I
right?
agree.
Coaching, their coaches are getting better, they're getting more educated, and they're helping the kids. And you do not see many kids falling off their shot anymore. And it used to be that there were more kids falling off their shot than there were posting.
I agree.
And so it's incredible to see that.
I think the USBCs, they have done a great job, I would say, with developing local coaches.
Yes,
And the
agreed.
certifications and all of that.
Yes.
And I have been in the United States for a while, and I have noticed a difference. And I've noticed that the parents and the volunteers and Saturday morning leagues are getting certifications. They're more
Yeah.
interested in learning how to teach, and they are
Right.
doing it more with drills and all these that we didn't have when we were
No,
kids.
absolutely
So
not.
we
Yeah.
learned how to throw a good later on in life.
I remember when I actually got to go to I went to Michelle Mullen and Alita Sells in Detroit, and I was 13 or 14 and I had no trail leg.
Oh wow!
I just was never taught it.
Yeah. And
And I remember that was what they worked on with me I went up for like a camp. It was like a weekend camp. And so I know that the coaching locally has gotten better, and it's just incredible. And it's not better or worse, but it is a higher level of coaching. Like you said, the education, they're more educated. They know the things that will take them to the next step. And the kids want it. The kids want to learn it. They don't want to bowl on house shots.
No.
They want to bowl on sport shots.
Yes. They want to be like their pros, the pros that
Exactly.
they admire. They
Yeah.
want to be the future Belmontes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think the other thing that I thought was really cool in the seminar, which I was telling the parents that may be listening later, if you miss the seminar at an SYC, you're really missing out because we never really know what topics will be covered because it starts as a Q&A and the kids ask great questions. But I think what's so important is really that there is a tour now, right?
Yes.
Because you experienced when the tour ended,
Yes.
unfortunately. But now that these young, like a little Ellie Kate and a Lydia, they can look at you and Steph and you guys bowl and they can see you out there competing. And I think that's so important that the PWBA exists.
Yes.
And it really has made, especially the girls bowling so much better at a young level or a youth level because there is something to aspire to be, right?
I agree. And when we were younger, Steph and I, we would watch TV. We would watch, the Kims and the Carolyn mothers and, Leanne and all of them succeed. And it was inspiring, right? And we wanted to be like them.
Yeah.
And that was our dream. And now they can do that. They
Absolutely.
can see the Shannon O'Keefe's and Steph and myself and so many other great players, Daria, very
Right.
and they can find like, okay, I love how Daria throws it. I want to be like her, and all of that, and it starts making you different as an athlete, and it kind of develops your style and all that good stuff that you need as an athlete. If we didn't have a tour, they didn't have that, which the boys have always, and I think that's why we have so many two-handed boys.
Yeah.
Because they could turn on the TV and see Belmonte and Kyle and
Totally.
Anthony Simonson and all of them. Well, in the girls, they don't really get to see that on tour and on TV. Now we are starting to see more. I mean, Bella is very successful, and I love that.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest difference.
Ooh, good pickup there. Sorry to
Yes, that was a
interrupt,
nice,
but
no, that was
really.
a good flip.
Yeah.
She didn't even get excited. I'm like,
No.
I'm more excited than she.
She's like, I can't believe that worked. And it kept her spare streak going. She has four spares in a row. Yeah. So,
They're
yeah.
feeling good. But, I think that is a big part for the kids right now, to be able to look up to the professionals. The fact that the tours are getting stronger.
Yeah.
So they have a future to look up to.
100%. Yeah, it was so funny because earlier there was a young lady that was bowling that had a sparkly skirt on. And I go, Steph,
Just like Steffi.
like you have to like this. She goes, it's so funny because I know her, and she told me that she likes my style and she's done it. And a couple years ago we had a young lady that wore her ponytail on the side like Julia.
Like Julia
Yeah.
Bond. That's
So,
hilarious.
Yeah, so they do pick up on things, and every once in a while we'll see girls that will like the pre-shot routines. Like they'll have similar pre-shot routines as you guys. Like Danielle comes to mind. A lot of girls mimic that, right? So yeah, it's
Danielle is a great person to look up to. I think she's great for the sport.
Oh yeah,
she's definitely not only a kind girl but hardworking.
Yeah,
she works very hard on her game. She works very hard on her strength, right?
Yeah.
She works out. She's good for the youth. I think she's the perfect person to look up to.
Hey, I think Clara is the perfect person to look up to too. I was looking up to your style yesterday. I'm like, your jewelry is so perfect. So
thank you.
any young ladies that are watching, and I'm sure you coach a lot of these young bowlers.
Yes.
Because you coach in. Where do you coach out of?
In Austin, Texas.
Austin, yeah.
But I have come here to Baton Rouge a few times, and I love it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
This bowling center especially really cares about the youth,
Yeah.
about bringing great coaching to the city,
Yeah.
and for the kids that are starting up. So I had the opportunity to do it in
Nice.
different occasions with Bob Lerm, with Ruben
Oh, nice.
Dragosian,
Yeah.
with Chris Bai,
Oh,
Gigi,
nice.
and it
Yeah.
has been very cool.
Yeah.
And now I have had the opportunity to make some great connections here, like come
Yeah.
and coach. It's very cool.
Yeah.
But mainly in Texas.
Okay.
Mainly in Austin. I do travel overseas and do some coaching too
Yeah.
with Ruben. And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I love the fact to be able to give back.
Yeah.
More than just the coaching itself, it's just to see the growth of the people that you're helping
Yeah.
and how their game changes and their life changes through the sport.
And it happens quick.
Yes, very quick, very quick.
They
Yes.
learn fast these days.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. and they're much more disciplined.
Yeah.
I think, like, I have a couple of my students in Austin that just wake up early and work out. They train all day long. They're always asking me, how can I get better? Where am I going to school? Like, so focused.
Yeah.
And I'm talking specifically about Garrett.
Oh yeah,
Andrews is a
Garrett. Oh
great
my
kid.
goodness, yeah,
Yes.
Garrett's he's won the SYC
I
two
believe
times, I think.
he won in Orlando
Yeah,
for sure. And he
yeah.
has finished top 3 a few times.
Yeah.
And he bowls a lot of regionals against the men. He
Oh
has
my
finished top
gosh.
3 many times. And
He is very dedicated to the
Yes,
sport. Yeah,
yes.
but
And
yeah.
it's cool to see. It's
Yeah,
cool to
it
see.
is.
Yeah.
Does it ever freak you out? Like you see these kids that are coming up, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, when are you going to be on tour?"
No, they're getting there. They're getting there quick. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I need to work harder. She's going to be on tour in a couple of years, and she's going to be, tough to beat. So
Right. Yeah.
I think it's a sport that you see a lot of talent, right?
Yeah.
And even the girls that are graduating from college
Oh
that
my
are starting to join the tour, they're so good.
Yes.
Now, in our sport, you need some kind of maturity, right?
Yeah.
And I believe you reach your highest point. The lady side, probably when you're 27 or so,
Yeah.
because you understand more ball reaction and the
Yeah.
different strategies that you have to do on the lanes and the equipment, and that being able to think correctly when you are
Sure.
out there isn't easy.
Yeah.
But are they gonna get there? Yeah. The
Yeah.
future is definitely bright. Okay. And with the guys, I think it's more in their low 30s.
Yeah.
But and it might started to get a little bit, earlier now because
Yeah.
of the talent. And again, because of education. I think coaching is better. The fact that they
Yes.
can go online and learn about ball and balls.
Right.
You guys are doing an amazing job, teaching the kids, bringing JJ to explain
Oh,
about
man, yeah.
the how to play the pattern. So I think education is going to also kind of make that process like faster, accelerate that to get to like your peak in life in our sport.
Well, I think college bowling. I mean, you bowled in college, but
Yes.
it's also excelled the game because there's so many people that bowled in college and want to stay in the sport, and so it's just everything is evolving, right? It's amazing. So
Yeah, it's when I came here a long time ago. The best schools were, Wichita State
Yeah.
University that I went to, and Nebraska.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there were other ones, but those were the big
top,
ones,
right,
the top. So
yeah.
it was pretty much you pick one or the other.
Right.
Okay. And Deandra was in Nebraska. Shannon was in
Yeah.
Nebraska. Many great players, and then I picked Wichita. But now you have so many great
I think-
options.
yeah.
So like all of the professionals are becoming one of the coaches, or
Yeah.
maybe retired professionals like
Right.
Rick Stillsmith and all of
Yes.
that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling the kids like, you're so lucky. He's your coach. Wow, I want that.
yeah. Or like you said, your idol Kim Terrell
Yeah,
Kearney.
yeah.
Girls can go and learn from Kim.
Unbelievable. Imagine if I had that option many years ago.
I
That
mean-
would have been an easy pick. I'm
Yeah,
like,
really.
I'm going to that.
Yeah,
where
gonna
Kim
learn.
is.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
and then we have girls this weekend. Leanne was just talking. She knows 3 for sure, but I'm sure there's more who, when they come on an SYC, if they're in that window of looking at schools, they make some college visits while they're going, which is so smart.
So
right?
smart.
If you're traveling, go and visit a college, even
Yes.
if NCAA is tricky, but you can go walk around a campus without a college visit just to get the feel for the university. So
And I
make
think-
the most of it.
And I think it needs to be a place that where you feel good,
Yeah.
right? And it kind of matches your personality or your vision. And I think that it also has to be a place where that offers the career or the major that you
Oh,
really
yeah.
want. So I'm gonna go in the sad story right now, but I was fortunate that I have been very healthy through my
Yeah.
career. So I have been able to bowl for a long time. But that's not always the case, right? So sometimes injuries happen. Maybe you cannot bowl as long as you wanted
Right.
to, and you want to have the major to
Fall back on.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that is something that you actually enjoy and like, hopefully, and not necessarily like you just pick bowling and whatever.
right.
And I was like, I don't really want to study this, but I'm gonna do it because
Right.
you really don't know if
That's a
if your
great
body
point.
is gonna hold
Yeah.
up, and I think that's very important.
Yeah.
That's very important.
I mean, we talk. I've never thought about it like that. We always talk about how, you should pick the major that you want to go into, even if you want to be a pro bowler. But I've never thought about the injury part of it because that's true. Like, no matter what, you really should that major is so important.
It's so important.
Yeah, don't make something work. If you're making it work, it probably won't work out. Like,
You're gonna have to go back to school.
yeah.
So actually, and I'm very strong about it because it happened in my house. So my
Okay.
husband, Josh Kubiak, we met in college. We bowled together in Wichita State.
Oh,
He was
no
an
way.
amazing
I
player.
didn't know your husband was. Oh, okay,
Yes.
all right.
He bowled with Sean Rush.
Okay,
You know, and
yeah.
Jake Trail on them, and
That was a good team,
it was
those
a
years.
very good team. And he was on the team and he was amazing. And he did get hurt,
Okay.
so he ripped the tendons on his fingers in
Ah.
one shot.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, and a long time ago, drillings and all that were a
Yeah.
little bit different.
Absolutely, yes.
We pushed a little bit much
Yeah.
at our age, and he only bowled 2 years. Then he had to finish his school in Wichita, but he couldn't bowl. When we graduated and we moved back to Austin, he's from Austin,
Yeah.
Texas. He went on tour with me. We bowled a lot of regionals. I
Yeah.
didn't have a women's tour, so I would bowl with him. And it was
Right.
a lot of fun. But then he decided to just pursue his career. But he didn't like what he went to school in Wichita because his dream was just to be a bowler, right?
Yeah.
So then he had to go back to school
Oh,
and
jeez.
he became a CPA, and now
Oh,
he's
wow.
an editor and he's a
Yeah.
bunch of things and data
Yeah.
analyst, and I mean you can only imagine.
Yeah.
He has been studying for the last since we have been married, pretty much. But it was just so close to my home, right? And I saw
Yeah.
it, it was tough. It was tough for
Yeah.
him. And he's not what he wanted to. He went to the
Right.
best school for bowling.
Right.
He was following his dream.
Yeah.
And
It didn't
an
work
injury
out.
happened.
Yeah. It
so,
happens.
so I think it's important not
Yeah.
only to pick the school that matches your game and the coaching and the scholarship, but also that has the major that you want to go for.
I think that's a very important story to tell to kids because unfortunately, we hope that every youth bowler that wants to be a pro, that it works out.
Yeah.
Things happen though.
Yes, yes.
Life happens.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, we were talking to Tony Franklin earlier, who I'm sure you know because he's
Yes.
from Texas,
Yes.
right? And he thought he wanted to be a pro bowler, and he went out on tour, and he went out and didn't like to travel.
Yeah. He didn't like it.
So
Yeah.
it's like, but now he's bowling on the PBA 50
I
tour. So
know.
it can all come full circle. But yeah, anything can happen. So,
It's kind of cool to see him back out.
oh, yeah.
Yes. And now he has a family,
Yeah.
and her daughter is playing right
Oh,
here.
my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
lovely to see him as a parent, like trying to coach her and help her out.
Yeah.
Great guy. But
Yeah.
again, his story is it could be any of these kids. It's
Absolutely.
a dream. Go out there. It's
Right.
not for them.
Or
it
like
wasn't easy.
one of your teammates, Angie Ramirez.
Yes.
Like she went to school. She went out and bowled on tour a couple years.
Yeah.
And then she liked her job better than bowling on tour. And
Yes.
she has a great job. And now she kind of is more full-time working than bowling. And,
Yes.
and so, yeah, anything can happen.
And she's one of those girls that smart,
Oh,
great
yeah.
athlete. And she moved to Austin. She lives in Austin. Also, Maria lives in Austin. Nathan, her.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a cool.
You have like Team Columbia
Yes,
in
pretty
Austin.
much. Pretty much. But she got a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's actually great at it.
Yeah.
And she's such a good leader. So
That's
I'm
cool.
glad she found that route too. We
Right.
miss her very much on the national
Yeah.
team. It's always important to have a good lefty on the team, and that was her for
She
us.
was a good lefty on
Yes.
Team Storm,
Yes,
too. So,
I know.
yeah.
We'll miss her very much, but we
Yeah.
are happy to see her succeed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. We're ending up the 5th game.
We are.
On-
So they will finish this, and then they'll bowl 5 games on the medium. As you said, we all hope that the scores get some more smiles. Although
Yeah.
these U12, they were still smiling, and these games are pretty good for down here.
Actually, I believe so. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm seeing a 180, and I know they 140s, but for their age, is not too bad. And
No,
even
yeah.
the youth 18 were shooting 140.
Oh, yeah.
hey.
I mean, high game was like 190, and there was
Yes.
like 150, 160. So
Yes.
yeah.
It's always harder to play the short pattern because of transition
Yes.
from lane to lane topography.
Yeah.
Also, the pattern was a little bit flatter.
It
So
was.
less room for mistake. A little bit, you need to throw better shots, but have the right ball, the
Yeah.
right speed, the right roll. So
There's
it gets a
nothing to
little
this
bit-
game, right?
Yeah, no. and then who you're following
Oh,
is
yeah.
such a big part of the game. So I think that the next 2 patterns will be a little bit easier. They will enjoy
Yeah.
more. We'll see a little bit higher scores. So keep watching, people.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Trevor up here, he always runs about. He can.
A big game here.
Oh, huge game.
Yeah.
Yeah, really big. Jane, that's for a double on lane 7. Not bad. Jane Jane never smiles. we keep telling Jane, come on, smile. Aw.
That was a good shot from Trevor. Yeah. He's very animated, and I love it. I want to be like that on tour, but I'm not at all. And you would not believe it on TV. I'm like, come on, let's go. And then I feel so excited inside, and I feel like I'm running the shots, and and then I look, and then I go back home, and then I watch. I'm like zero emotions. Like, what's wrong with me? And I feel like, like I was going
so
energetic, and I'm like, oh my God, was I crazy? And my husband like, no, you barely, like, we could barely see that you were excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. It is so funny that these, and some kids are super animated, and you do see like the players, like people always comment on like a Danielle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Danielle is so stoic.
Yeah.
But inside, she's like
excited. You have no idea what goes in our heads and our hearts
Yeah.
and our heart rate.
Yeah, exactly. I do think you're a little animated. I watch you. You're pretty
You think
animated.
I am? Okay,
I think you are.
Making me feel better.
Yeah,
That's how I feel when
I
I'm
think
out
you
there.
are. I think you. Team Columbia, you guys are always animated. Although I do have to share with you. I do believe you've moved up on my Team Columbia favorites.
Oh, thank
but
you.
Andres Gomez is
obviously.
my favorite
He's the
member
first.
of Team Columbia.
He's the first, of course.
Yeah, so Andres, I always kid with him. I'm like, you're number 1 for me. Like, and so
I hope to be number 2 soon.
I think you are too.
Okay.
I think you've
Yeah,
moved up this weekend. You
I
did
know.
it. I'm telling you, if Clara's ever giving a talk, go and listen.
Oh,
I learned a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're fantastic. So.
Thank you. And I bowled with Andres DeLucy.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Finished second
All
one
right,
year.
so you're my favorite team at
Yeah,
the Lucy.
see?
Yeah, I love it. That's
I like
awesome.
that. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah. It's great.
No, Andres is a phenomenal guy. He has been
is.
working, for Storm for a long time.
Yeah.
He's great for the sport.
So
Um,
kind.
Yeah, and he has done a lot for the players in South America.
Yeah.
He was our hero, right? And he did so much for the sport, and he still does a lot for the sport. So cool guy.
He is. Yeah. I always liked watching him bowl too. He's a great bowler.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm lucky to have him on my team for the Lucy. We just need to get back to the final
This year.
this year.
This is it.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we are wrapping up. We're going to watch these young ladies. So we do have a couple two-handers in the girls division. How long do you think there's a two-handed girl on the PWBA tour? How long?
I don't think very long. I think it's coming up quick.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I think the process of most of them wanting to go to college is making that a little bit longer.
Sure.
Different than, when Leanne and all of them went on
They
tour.
just-
They
yeah.
just like went straight
We're
to it.
good.
I'm just going to go bowl and win many titles.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
that makes it a little bit longer. But I think that we will see a couple probably within the next 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
like it. I think I could get on board with that. It used to be like I'd be like 5, but I think we are getting close.
Yeah. I think I'm not so sure their age, but I know there are a couple in Europe that are pretty good.
Okay.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
successful, and we might just see them like on a Queens,
Yeah.
like bowling, the majors.
Yeah,
So
for
how they
sure.
come
For sure.
from Asian Europe and just do a little swing.
Yeah, I'm
I think
surprised we haven't seen someone from like a Singapore or
Yeah.
like I'm surprised that there isn't a young lady that
Mhm.
doesn't come from Asia or somewhere. So yeah,
Two-handed,
yeah,
And I think it has a lot to do with what I told you.
yeah, college, yeah,
And what we look up to.
yeah.
So when we turn on the
true.
TV, we see
Yes.
Shannon's. When we turn on the TV, we see Jordan's, and
Yeah.
we see Stephanie.
Yeah,
And we don't see Anthony's and
No,
Belmo's and Kyle's. And we want to, be like the people we admire.
totally.
Right? So I think it has a little bit to do with that.
I agree.
Besides the strength and other things
Yeah,
that are obviously part of the game. But that's why we see so many boys two-handed and not so many girls two-handed.
I 100% agree. Yeah, so Miss Jane finished up with a 204. That is the highest game
Yes.
around. So
Spoke very well.
Clara, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure,
We will have you back in for the next 5 to comment, and until next time, which is at 2:30. We'll see you guys later. So thanks for tuning in to the SYC.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Thanks for watching. This has been a live stream of the SYC Louisiana from Baton Rouge. The preceding has been produced by Storm Bowling. For more information on upcoming events, please visit stormbowling.com. Once again,